Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test, 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 test. James is going to call you. Test 1 2, test 1 2, testing 1 2 3. How about now? I mean, does you're hearing it right now? Testing 1 2. Is it? Good. Yeah. That's the one I used last week. One with the blue tape on it. When we run out, get us. Yeah. Here you go, Dave. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2. Is that any better? Testing 1 2. He says he's still there. Is it maybe electrical? It's touching something like that? Probably. Okay. Tyler said it's on YouTube as well. Yeah. That's really bad. Whatever we did was really bad. Test, 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 test. Test 1 2. The other mixer? Yeah. Okay. We're gonna switch mixers. I'll try to call you back. State of mind. There you go.
Test 1 2. 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 Testing 1 2. Unless, see if there's another chord there.
Is that what?
Look for another chord like this.
Another chord for that?
Yeah. Well, look at everybody. David Clary along with James Branson here at Clinton City Field getting set for Oak Ridge High School football. The Wildcats kicking off to the Clinton Dragons, and we are underway here. A line drive kick that's going to go sailing in and out of the end zone. So the Dragons will take over first down, 10 yards to go. Line of scrimmage will be at the 20-yard line. Just underway here, trying to get our technical issues taken care of here, and hopefully we're streaming live on YouTube and you can hear that or watching that. We're trying to pick up some kind of a technical issue that's bothering us as the Dragons will come to the line. We'll get their starting lineups. I know Joshua Keith is the quarterback for the Clinton Dragons. The Clinton Dragons come in with a record of 2-0 as we get set here in this ball game here from Clinton. The Dragons come to the line. They'll split out two receivers to the right of the quarterback, one lone running back. They'll split out a receiver to the left, and here comes the handoff up the middle. They're going to move the ball forward to around the 25-yard line. It's a gain of about 5 or 6 on the play. It'll bring up second down, and we'll call it 4 yards to go for a first down. Wildcats and Dragons here. The first game took place in 1943, and they played 2 games that particular year. And here come the Dragons. The line of scrimmage will be at the 26-yard line. Second down, 4 yards to go. Movement on the line. The right side of the Clinton line jump. It'll be a 5-yard step off against the Clinton Dragons. Clinton playing on their brand new turf field here at Clinton City Field. It just got completely installed this week as the Wildcats and Dragons play once again here from Clinton City Field. 5-yard step off, so it'll be second down and a little over 9 yards to go for a first down. They'll split out two receivers splitting to the right side. Quarterback is Joshua Keith. They've got a lone man, Doty Truss, to the far left, former Wildcat. Low snap. Here comes a little screen pass. It's going to be caught, and down he goes at the 20-yard line. The Wildcats come in strong. Brandon Hayward, Justin Crowley and company. Burvin and Kelly were around the play as well. It'll be for the Dragons a loss of a yard on the play. It'll bring up third down, 10 yards to go. Just underway. We're in the first quarter. 0-0 our score, Oak Ridge and Clinton. Here come the Dragons to the line. Two receivers split to the right. Once again, they've got a little height, though. They're covered by Hayward and Justin Crowley. Quarterback Keith rolls to his right, wants to run, fires a pass across the way, incomplete. And they will punt. So the Wildcat defense does what it needs to do. They stop the Dragons on their initial drive, and play is halted. Let's see, what's the call here? One of the officials making sure everything's set. It'll be fourth down facing Clinton, I believe, as the Dragons, unless I'm incorrect there, it will be fourth down, and they got it right finally. And Brandon Hayward will stand back at around the 50-yard line, and the Wildcats will get the ball here in a moment. Hayward will stand back at the 50, fourth down, and about 11 yards to go. The Wildcats and Dragons here from Clinton City Field. Here's the snap, it's good, but there's some movement across the line of scrimmage. Working on a little bit of a technical issue here. Pearl James is having to do that, but it'll be for the Dragons. Another penalty yardage stepped off. It'll be 5-yard step off against Clinton, so it's now going to be fourth down and about 15 yards to go. Brandon Hayward standing back at the 50-yard line. Just underway, no score. Here comes the pressure. Movement again. I think Oak Ridge this time might have jumped off sides. We'll check and make sure. I'm watching James trying to get things situated here. And is indeed going to be another 5-yard step off against the Dragons. So Clinton's shooting themselves in the foot here in the early going. And Let's see if Clinton calls a timeout to try to talk about it, to try to get settled. Coach Keith does not like what he has seen early on. It'll be 4th down and a timeout is asked for, and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back once again to Clinton City Field here. 4th down, 19 yards to go. The ball's at the 11-yard line. Brandon Hayward back to receive the punt for the Wildcats. Now punting from their own end zone, the Dragons are. Wildcats showing pressure. Here's the kick. It's away. It's very short. It's going to be fielded by Justin Crowley. Bounces off a tackle, cuts to his left, stiff arms his man, moves the ball to the Dragon 40-yard line, and that is where. And then a flag comes flying in from one of the back officials here, and it'll be for the Wildcats. 1st down, 10 yards, depending on where they're going to spot the ball. Working on a little technical issue right here, hopefully getting set. The Wildcats watching the Dragons punt, fielded by Justin Crowley at around the 40-yard line, but they're pointing towards Oak Ridge, so I think the Wildcats will be penalized here. A lot of times when Oak Ridge and Clinton get together, a lot of times the officiating crew over-officiates. Hopefully that won't be the case here tonight. Of course, the procedural things, the jumping off sides and all of that, obviously you have to call. But a lot of times they call just incidental stuff as they're going to walk the ball back to the 49-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will have it 1st down and 10 yards to go. Oak Ridge, as I look at it from the visitor side, moving right to left. Wildcats have Crowley split out to the far right. The Wildcats have 2 receivers to the left, including Brandon Hayward. He's stacked on the left side. One lone running back for the Wildcats is Kendall Jackson. The quarterback is Hayden Tarwater. The tight end on the left side is Darren Osborne. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Opening drive for the Wildcats here. Rodney Ellison, the offensive coordinator, signals the play in. Here comes Tarwater with the snap. He's going to hand it off to Kendall Jackson. Kendall 50, Kendall 45, 40. Kendall Jackson down the Oak Ridge sideline. 1st down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge pick up the first down of the ball game with looks over like about 9 minutes and 17 seconds to play here in the 1st quarter. Oak Ridge with the ball, officially at the 39-yard line. Wildcats, Hayward in the backfield. He'll be running the Wildcat right now. New wrinkle for the Wildcats. Brandon Hayward in the backfield. Here comes the snap. Brandon's going to run it. Brandon is going to be sacked back at the 42-yard line. It'll be a loss on the play for Hayward. A new wrinkle in the Oak Ridge offense. Brandon Hayward in the Wildcat formation. Probably a little early for that, but they went to it, and it's going to lose yardage. Be a loss of 2 on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 12 yards to go. Wildcats and Dragons. The first game took place in 1943. Mike Sheehan was here for that one. As Hayward and Tarwater is going to pass across the way. Pass intercepted. Not a good pass at all, and they might have a touchdown. Hayward's going to try to run it down. There is a flag down on the play, and he's going to stroll into the end zone, but there is a flag back here at the 30-yard line. Try to get it in coverage there and turn the ball over. We'll have to check this penalty marker back here.
Yeah, David, it looked like Hayden right there led Brandon maybe just a little bit much on a slant route there, and the defender, Brandon was double covered, had one guy underneath, one guy over top. The defender, I believe it may have been safety number 48 for them, or number 40. I didn't exactly get that number, but just was kind of Johnny on the spot. The ball fell right into his lap.
Waiting to see what the penalty is. They're walking back up the field here, and I believe it is going to be against the Clinton Dragons. So that'll negate a pick six. And one thing I know that Oak Ridge has given up, a couple of pick six, honestly. James Branson, they got to avoid that.
Yeah, just got to execute a little bit better offensively there. And it seems like maybe the timing's just a little bit off. But, you know, this is a little bit of adversity the Oak Ridge Wildcats have seen so far. And being able to overcome this right now is going to be a huge momentum and get the ball back.
Wildcats of Oak Ridge, once again, as they're going to put the yardage forward here. They're going to step it off. The Wildcat defense has come onto the field, so the interception counts. But obviously on the return, the penalty goes against the Dragons.
Yeah, in all honesty, it's more of like a punt for the Wildcats anyway. I think the interception was made about the 35-yard line or so. The Clinton Dragons are back up to their own 16, so at least Clinton's pushed pretty far back.
Back on defense go the Wildcats here. First down, 10 yards to go. Ball is officially at the 15-yard line. Joshua Keith, the quarterback. We'll get the starters in a moment. Handoff goes up the middle for hardly anything. They move the ball close to the 19-yard line. James, while you have a moment, why don't you run down the starters?
Absolutely. On offense for the Dragons, we have Jeremiah Blavelt. He is a senior. He's a receiver, along with Andy King and Dodie Truss. The line for the Dragons are center Eric Page, guard Rhett Sievers, tackle Barry Maddox, guard Caleb Cook, and tackle Devin Monroe. The fullback is William Taylor. Connor Moody is the running back, and Joshua Keith is your quarterback for the Dragons.
Gain on the play, we'll call it 3 yards. Call it second down, 7 yards to go for the Dragons. Moody in the backfield. Joshua Keith is the quarterback. Man comes in motion. There was movement on the line. Keith's going to try to run the ball, trying to get outside. Here comes White Shirts. They're going to throw the pass. It's going to be caught. Nice play. The Wildcats got pressure, and Justin Crowley was defending. Give Keith a lot of credit because he was about to get sacked. He was going to go down, looked up the field, saw his receiver, and delivers a strike, and it's 1st and 10 Dragons.
Yeah, he was able to elude a couple Wildcat defenders there who were pursuing him from the left side. I think one of those may have been Hewitt, but Dodie Truss was on a deep route, came back to the ball, and did a nice job of coming back toward his quarterback to complete that pass.
Here comes Clinton once again as I'm looking from the visitor's side. They're moving left to right here. We'll set the defense for the Wildcats in a moment. Keith gets the snap, hands it off to the back, and he is hit by Brian Kelly. Falls forward and is tackled at around the 36-yard line. Stop is made out there by Kelly, along with, looks like Brandon Hayward. For the Dragons, it's a gain of 5. Second down, 5 yards to go. I believe it's 7:10 to play. This is their opening ball game. There's some lights out on the scoreboard over there. And so I guess everybody's first game, they have issues. Second down, 5 yards to go. Movement across the line, and play is halted. James, I'm going to ask you here, what's the situation with technically?
Not exactly. There's a little bit of ringing in the background. It's not on our broadcast. It's kind of in the background of the what we're talking over. So it's kind of just constant ringing that we hear, high-pitched.
Hopefully at halftime we'll be able to fix it. That's an issue. It'll be for the Dragons. Third down and a yard to go. That penalty was against Oak Ridge. Here's movement again by Oak Ridge, and once again they jump off sides. So both teams are getting procedural calls.
Yeah, and Clinton on that hit, on that possession right there in that play, they went with a freeze count, just a hard count, and the Wildcat defenders just jumped off one of the defensive ends, and I believe maybe the nose tackle right there. So just got to be very conscientious of where the ball is, where the down and distance are, because, you know, if they're doing that this early in the game, they're probably going to come back to it at some point.
Not a great start for either team, really, in terms of penalties here, but that is a first down for the Dragons. Handoff to the back, and he is met at the line, moving the ball forward. Number 45. There's a lot of pushing and shoving that usually takes place in this ball game. What about the crowd here for Clinton?
Yeah, it's a really nice crowd, really, on both sides. The Wildcat fans have traveled well and packed out the visitor side of the field here. And Clinton, obviously, all in black and orange over there on the other side. It's a really nice crowd, really intense atmosphere. And the whole stadium is full. Both bands kind of fill up the end zone, student section. So it's a really nice atmosphere here tonight for the Wildcats.
Ball just across the 50-yard line. The Dragons gained 3 on that play. Second down, 7 yards to go. 5:54 to play. We're in the first quarter. Scoreless ball game here from Clinton City Field. Josh Keith is going to hand it off to his back, and he tries to get up the field. He does. Before Brian Kelly makes the stop. And nice little move there by the back, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Clinton Dragons.
Yeah, just a little bit of a trap play there by Clinton, kind of fake it out. It's really a wing T play where you fake the toss outside, hand it back underneath. I believe that was Moody for them, number 40 on the carry there, and able to get up past the first down marker.
Ball is resting at the 41-yard line. It'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go for Clinton. The Dragons wearing their all-black jerseys with black pants, orange and white numerals. The Wildcats in their white jerseys with a cardinal double stripe down their pants. Here they come to the line. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Fumble on the play. Keith falls on it, but he's going to lose a couple yards on the play. The snap just didn't get back to the quarterback. It'll bring up 2nd down, and we'll call it, as looks like it's a loss of about 2. 2nd down and about 12. 4:58 and counting here in the ball game. Although there was a penalty there on the play, the clock moves. 4:50 to play. Here they come to the line. 2nd down, 12 yards to go. I have been so discombobulated, I don't even have a Clinton roster here in front of me, so you're going to have to help me with these names here. As Keith comes up, receivers left and right. Joshua's going to pitch to his tailback, and he tries to get to the corner, and he's shoved out of bounds by, I believe, Oak Ridge's Jacob Bervin right around the 35-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 4 yards to go for a first.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of a speed option there. Quarterback and running back go out and attack the defensive end. If the defensive end comes at the quarterback, which he did at that point, that was Keith. He just pitched it out to King, number 5 for the Dragons there.
Officially, it's 3rd down and 6 yards to go. They have a full house backfield once again. Receivers to the right. Is that Doty here to the right? Keith's going to hand it off. Boom! Right at the line of scrimmage. He goes down at the 35-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and about 5 yards to go. James?
Yeah, it's just a little dive play right there at the line of scrimmage, and Clinton's kind of packing it in. They have 3 running backs in there tight, just trying to hammer it up the middle, and just not very successful. I think, honestly, the Wildcat defensive line is bigger than the Clinton offensive line right now, and they're just being able to have their way with them.
4 minutes, 13 seconds to play. 4th down, a little over 5 yards to go. They split out a single man to the left. Here comes Truss. He's going to be in a slot to the right. Clinton looks like they're a little unsure of their play. Keith coming over to talk to his dad, the head coach, and that is a timeout called by Clinton. Their 2nd called here in the 1st quarter. 3:59 to play, 1st quarter. We'll be back to Clinton in 60 seconds. Sounds like there's some kind of feedback. It has to be some kind of feedback.
So, what's wrong with tire water?
I don't know.
Do you want to, while the play pot's not working, I was about to say, do you
Yeah,
want to
why don't we take that down and that's causing
Yeah, let's do this.
Welcome back once again to Clinton. 4th down. Joshua Keith the pass. Has all day. Across the middle. Passes there. Passes in. Complete pass interference against Kendall Jackson. Grabbed him around the waist, and that'll be a penalty against Oak Ridge.
Yeah, on that play there, Jeremiah Blavelt, the number 1 receiver for the Clinton Dragons, was just on a post route, and it looked like our safety may have come in contact a little bit early. It's going to be a defensive pass interference, and it's going to give Clinton a 1st down. Looks like it's going to be around the 20-yard line.
And they're going to talk about it here. It is going to be the Dragons getting the ball moved up forward on the pass interference. So we don't see Kendall play in the secondary much at all. In fact, this is our first look at him in the secondary, and he did commit the foul. And it'll be 1st down, 10 yards to go for the Dragons. The ball is at the 21-yard line. 3:51 to play here in the 1st quarter from Clinton City Field on their brand new turf. And once again, they'll come to the line. Joshua Keith at quarterback. Doty Truss split out to the right. Now he comes in and makes it a little tighter formation. It'll be a very tight formation. One receiver to the left. Quarterback hands it off to the running back, and he's tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Gains a couple plays. I think Brian Kelly was there for the stop. 3:45 to play. Penalties have been a big factor. A turnover by the Wildcats, and the Dragons have driven inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, David, and Oak Ridge just one possession. They had a really nice play and run there by Kendall Jackson, but unfortunately the Dragons have been able to drive a lot and hold the ball.
Single receiver split to the left for Keith once again. Hands it off to the back, and he does have running room for a moment. Then Brian Kelly hits him, and then he's finished off by Ethan Hewitt. He does move the ball forward for a positive gain all the way up to the 13-yard line, where it'll be for Clinton. Third down and about 1.5 yards to go. 3:08 to play. We're in the first quarter. Scoreless ball game. Dragons started this drive after a turnover, but they have marched crisply down the field. They got a little help from the Wildcats, an offside penalty and a pass interference. Joshua Keith, 3rd down and 2. He tries to move the ball forward, and the pile moves to the 10, and I believe that's enough for a Dragon first down.
Yeah, just a little bit quarterback sneak there on that play to get a good push there from his lineman and pick up enough for a first down. As it's interesting to see Clinton in this wing tee look, or this close bunch look with Doty and some of the other receivers in there. It's not probably what we've seen from them in a long time.
I'm just trying to figure out what this squeal is on the signal, to be honest with you. It'll be first down, and I don't know if it's goal to go. I can't really tell. It's right at the 10-yard line. Keith hands it off to the back. Boom! Big stick. He is blasted back at the 10-yard line. Brian Kelly, Jacob Bervin met him in the hole. No gain on the play.
Yeah, it's a really nice job there by those two, coming right off the edge and coming hard and really getting to the line of scrimmage, meeting the back at the line of scrimmage. And I don't think they're going to be able to get outside on us tonight, but, they've been able to kind of go right up the middle. So really nice play there by our linebackers.
Second down, goal to go from the 10 once again. Keith in the shotgun. Man comes in motion. They've got a single receiver to the right. Handoff goes to the back, trying to get outside. He does. He's at the 5, dives towards the pylon, but out of bounds he goes at around the 3-yard line. It'll be third down, goal to go at the 3.
A little bit of a jet sweep there for Doty as he came around the edge there, and that was actually a pass, so that'll go down as passing yardage for Keith because he tossed it to Doty instead of handing it off as he got to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be from the 4-yard line.
Yeah, just outside the 4, to be honest with you, so it's almost closer to 4.5 yards to go. Third down, 1:41 to play, went out of bounds. That stops the clock. They've got 2 receivers to the right. They got 1 lone man to the left. Lone running back behind Joshua Keith, the quarterback, the sophomore quarterback. He's going to drop the pass, roll to his right. Lots of trouble. Scrambles, dumps, end zone pass, incomplete. Brandon Hayward defending for the Wildcats. And it'll be 4th down. And what does the Clinton Dragons decide to do?
I think you go for it, David. Honestly, in this scenario, you're down here. You don't want to take 3 points, and it possibly could be a big momentum swing. But what a play by Brandon Hayward. Brandon saw Keith rolling the other way. He started to go, and then he saw him came back, so he stayed in his spot. If Brandon had left that zone, then that would have been a touchdown. But Brandon, wisely enough, was able to go up and get that and stayed in his zone to break up that play.
4th down, goal to go. The ball's at the 5-yard line. Doty Truss splits to the left. They've got a single man to the right. Quarterback rolls, troubles, fires, end zone, incomplete, and the Dragons are held out of the end zone. Oak Ridge will take over on downs. The Wildcats defense bends but doesn't break.
Great job there by the Wildcat defense, as credit Jai Hunley there as he came off the edge from his outside linebacker spot to put pressure on Keith. If Hunley does not do that, that ball goes into the end zone for a touchdown. But because of his effort, he was able to kind of put enough pressure on him to force a throw that was just out of the stretched arms there of Doty Truss.
Wildcats with a turnover in the ball game. Didn't hurt, but the Wildcats are backed up in the end zone. Hayden Tarwater will be operating from there. It'll be Oak Ridge with 1 lone running back, 3 receivers split to his right. Tarwater from the shotgun, hands off running back straight up the middle. That is Kendall Jackson moving the ball up to the 10-yard line, getting the Wildcats a little bit more working room.
Yeah, it seems like the Wildcats, what they want to do is spread out the Clinton defense and run basically almost one-on-one with the Clinton defense in the middle. It's interesting here because you've got some substitutes in for the Wildcats at receiver. Braden Sharp and I believe Andrew Ferrer just came off the field. Peyton Sharp, excuse me.
It'll be for the Wildcats, second down and about 3 yards to go, 59 seconds to play. Tarwater, quarterback. He's going to hand it off to Kendall. Kendall lowers his shoulder and down he goes at the 10-yard line. It'll be third down facing the Wildcats with 47 seconds to play. Wildcats could use a first down to get a little bit of working room here. The Wildcats will have receivers left and right. Playing with a tight end tonight, that is Darren Osborne. Brandon Hayward split out to the far right. The Wildcats down to 26 seconds to play in a scoreless ball game. Tarwater looking over for the play from the sideline. In a minute. It'll be third down facing the Wildcats. Wildcats trying to run straight up the middle. Nothing at all. The Wildcats will be forced to punt. I know the Wildcats have had a little success there, but just didn't get anything going. And the Wildcats will punt, and that is the final play of the first quarter. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back to Clinton City Field. Scoreless ball game. We'll be back in 60 seconds. If we can get some field position, we'll be okay. Just keep giving the ball at Kendall. Don't let him have the ball. Welcome back once again to Clinton City Field here on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, prepradio.com, and Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15. And here come the Wildcats back out. They'll be punting from their own end zone. We are working on the technical issue. We apologize for that. We will get it taken care of as soon as we can. To be honest with you, we have no idea what it is. All I know is the Wildcats fourth down. Here's the snap. Here comes the Wildcats punting. He punts it high. Going to take a nice Oak Ridge bounce. It's going to roll dead all the way down the field at around the 45-yard line, and that is where the Dragons will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. I think Coach Gaddis wanted it to be at a certain other area. Coach Gaddis is arguing. Ball, I think, went out of bounds at around the 43-yard line, but they're going to say it went out at the 47. It'll be for the Dragons. A better signal on the stream at least, and then we'll work on the radio here in a second. Not much we can do here as we're live into the ball game. It'll be for the Dragons. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 47-yard line, 11:50 to play. Second quarter, we have no score. Wildcats and Clinton. Here comes the handoff to number 5. He is nailed right at the 50-yard line. Slow going, running for the Clinton Dragons. One thing that kind of surprises me, as athletic as Keith is, I don't know why he doesn't take off and go with it more.
Yeah, it seems like he wants to stay in the pocket and be willing to pass the ball. But I will credit the Wildcat defense because they have been able to keep him in the pocket and not let him out. So that's a good job. But I absolutely agree. He should use his legs and scramble a lot more.
Gain of 2 on the play. Second down, 8 yards to go. Dragons with 2 receivers to the right. 11:14 to play. We're in the second quarter. The handoff goes this time to the back, and he is met, stuck, and still is able to move the ball forward to around the 46-yard line, where it'll be third down facing Clinton. We have no score here. Let's find out if the stream is working here.
The ringing on the stream has stopped, so that is nice.
So we'll work on the radio in a moment. So at least we have solved one problem. And with 10:44 to play, it's third down, about 4.5 yards to go. James is working feverishly over here, along with Andy as well, as once again, the Dragons from the shotgun. Third down, 4 yards to go from the 47. Quarterback dumps it out of the backfield. They're going to throw with a pass. It's up and complete. Wildcats make the stop. Really nice play set up by Clinton all the way down to the 30-yard line. It was basically like a halfback pass, and it's complete.
Yeah, David, it was a double pass there. Doty Truss came in motion back behind the quarterback. It's just a quick little bubble pass. Doty faked like he was going to run up to the line of scrimmage. Jeremiah Blavelt was just streaking down the sideline there, and Doty just stopped and threw it to him right there, and he was wide open.
No score here from Clinton. The clock just continues to move. It has been a very fast ball game to this point. First down, handoff running back, grabbed and dropped by the Wildcats. I think it's Darren Osborne who hit him first. Let me check that number. Right around the 28-yard line. So the good news is we have got the stream working. If you're trying to listen on the radio, you can go over to YouTube on our Prep Radio channel as a play is halted. Not exactly sure. Official comes over to discuss things with Coach Gaddis. Coach Gaddis is livid about something down there. Not happy at all. And hopefully he'll not have a heart attack here. And it'll be
looks like 2nd and 10 because that play was stopped right at the line of scrimmage. The Wildcat defense doing a great job right there, just stacking up the dive play as they can basically almost play man or on the guys outside because there's only 2 receivers out in a pattern.
And the 9:55 to play here in the first half. Scoreless ball game. The Wildcats and Dragons. Oak Ridge trying to beat Clinton for the 12th straight time. And I guess we're going to have a penalty against Oak Ridge that I didn't see. Obviously, it's a big one. Half the distance to the goal. They're going to walk it all the way inside the 15.
Yeah, if it's something like that, it must be some type of unsportsmanlike or right after the play happened, and the 2 teams may have been chirping back and forth.
Coach Gaddis once again talks to the official, the same official over here on the sideline. Sometimes, I've said this many times before, a lot of times when we go to Clinton, the games are over-officiated. I mean, they're so afraid there's going to be something that happens, they over-officiate. I don't know what happened there. We'll find out later.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there, but Coach Gaddis was obviously upset. It makes you kind of wonder with what happened last year. We had a little bit of an issue last year between the players and kind of going back and forth, and we know that Coach Gaddis really didn't like what happened there, and he really is, I'm sure, wanting to prevent that again this year.
Get a shot at Coach Gaddis right there. He is livid with the official, trying to argue his point. Timeout was asked for by Oak Ridge, and Coach Gaddis really arguing, as you can see on the video screen there, arguing with the official. Obviously from up here, don't know what happened. All I know is the Wildcats have got to get the ball back. The Dragons have dominated the play clock here, and I hesitate to take a timeout. The conversation has been a long one. James, do you have any idea? I see Coach Mullins is out there too.
At this point, it would have to be something that was said or some type of gesture or something like that was made. I think, like I said, unsportsmanlike I guess against the Wildcats, I didn't really see anything. But in order to cause a 15-yard penalty after the play, I think that's what it would have to be.
Maybe on him. Who knows? It'll be the Dragons come to the line now. First down, 10 yards to go. Two receivers to the right. The Wildcats stopped them inside the 5 earlier in this first half. Let's see what they can do here. Hand off to the back, and Sutter steps forward to the 10-yard line, driven back hard. They're not very fast with their running backs, but they're powerful. They've got some size back there. Their running backs don't appear to be just speed demons.
No, they're not, but they use a motion to help them out. We saw a Sally trap there earlier in this drive, and then just being able to mix it up inside, outside. It's really nice what they've been able to do, but the Wildcats have really been shutting down the inside runs.
Second down, 6 yards to go. The ball's at the Oak Ridge 10, 9:15 to play in the first half. Huge Clinton section, student section on that end zone. If you've been to Clinton, you know what I'm talking about. Hand off to the back, and he moves the ball forward to the end zone, takes it in for a touchdown. Moody takes it in for the score, just kept bouncing around, knocking off different players, and takes it in, and they lead it by a score of 6-0.
Yeah, it looked like the Oak Ridge defense there kind of followed Doty Truss as he went in motion back behind the quarterback there, Keith, and Moody, it was just a dive play right off the guard and able, like you said, to just bounce off a couple players, keep his feet turning, and get in the end zone.
And the Dragons will go for the extra point, and like I said, we are going to attempt here in a bit to fix the radio signal. Ball is down, the kick is on its way, it's up, and it is good. 7-0 Dragons, 9:01 to play first half. We'll be back to Clinton following this 60-second timeout. Welcome back to Clinton, Tennessee, here on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. Streaming live on YouTube and on Prep Radio. Here comes a short pop-up kick. It's going to be fielded by the Wildcats at the 20, to the 25-yard line, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 50-yard line, and pushed out of bounds finally, but not until it gets into Clinton territory. Lots of contact on the out of bounds, but a fine return by Oak Ridge.
Yeah, David, that's one of the things that Clinton showed on film is they like to do those little pop-up kicks like that, which if your coverage team does not pin them on the sideline, you can get big return yardage there, just like Oak Ridge did. But one of the things that I noticed there, as you said, got tackled out of bounds. He was already stepping out of bounds, got tackled out of bounds. If you're going to call it, it needs to be called both ways. That should have been a late hit, in my opinion.
Wildcats back on offense. Pretty good field position here. The Wildcats have a turnover. Wildcats down 7-0, 8:52 to play. The Wildcats starting this drive on the Clinton side of the 50 at the 47-yard line. Kendall Jackson in the backfield, two receivers to the right. Little quick pass is going to be caught. Wildcats trying to run with it, and nothing. Push back at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, David, just a little swing pass there out to Cameron Barnett. Screen pass, not able to get past any of the blockers there, and I believe that's the single receiver side of the field. Maybe they were trying to pull their tackles out to block there and just weren't able to get out on the corners.
The Wildcats have tried to work the middle here. Kendall Jackson had one long run, but has been stuffed ever since. The Wildcats with two running backs, Hundley and Kendall in the backfield. 2nd and 13. High snap. Kendall gets the handoff, and he is blasted Kendall is hit right in the hole. Wildcats have gone Kendall's way, and they have blasted him.
Yeah, David, I think it might be, might want to get a little bit of change of pace here. I know Dozier and Hunley, very different backs the Wildcats have. You got Kendall Jackson, who's very downhill. Hunley has some speed, and Dozier's a little bit more of a power back, so maybe switch it up here and see what else you can get.
So now it's 3rd down and 15 yards to go. The Oak Ridge offense continues to sputter. Wildcats have got to get something. I think probably they wanted to give Hayden an easy pass right there to give him a little confidence. He's going to drop back to pass. Looks to his right. Fires at Kendall Jackson, the intended receiver. Can't make the play, and the Wildcats will be forced to punt.
Yeah, David, it's just a check down pass there. Where Hayden wanted to go was to the right side of the field here toward us, and it was a little out route and a go route combination. He felt some pressure, went to the other side of the field where Kendall is and on his check down route and just not able to complete it. But what was interesting there, you had some of the linemen out blocking for Kendall, so he had room and space.
So the Wildcats will be forced to punt. 7:32 to play. The Wildcats down 7-0. Wildcat offense has picked up 1 first down in the ballgame. The Wildcat offense has sputtered in the first 3 ball games here. This one's been a short one. It's really gone fast. The Dragons have been able to move the ball. The Wildcats have helped them with some penalties. Here's the snap. Mervin punts it. It's going to be a nice punt. It's going to roll inside the 20 and roll all the way down to around the 16-yard line, and that is where Clinton will have it. First down, 10 yards to go. Big series of downs, I think, for the Oak Ridge defense here. They have got to stop Clinton. The Wildcat offense obviously needs a little help from the defense right here.
Yeah, they need a little help, and what you're seeing here for the Wildcats is a couple of subs. We see Bryce Davis coming in, maybe that outside linebacker or that safety position. Justin Crowley really doing a nice job on the corner spot there, and obviously Brandon Hayward and Jaden Williams out at corner and safety respectively.
Ball's at the 16-yard line. The Dragons moving from right to left as we look from the visitor side here. 7:20 to play. First half, 7-0 Clinton. Here come the handoff to the running back, and he's going to move the ball close to the 19-yard line. Not a whole lot of yardage. They did get good yardage on the touchdown run, but not much yardage there. 2nd down and 8. I think the key right now is the fact that the Dragons have taking so much time off the clock.
Exactly, and I was just thinking that they've held on to the ball for so long. They've been able to get 3, 4, and 5 yard gains long enough to where they're able to put a drive and a series and first downs together. Wildcats really need a 3 and out here.
From the 19-yard line, it's 2nd down, and we'll call it 8 yards to go. Joshua Keith, the quarterback, sophomore. 1 lone running back, receivers, 1 to the left, 1 to the right. 2nd down and 8 yards to go. The Wildcats showing perhaps a little blitz. Here's the snap. Keith's going to crank it up and fire it wide open. Justin Crowley was defending out there, but just wide open in the flats right there. It's 1st and 10 Dragons.
Yeah, Jeremiah Bovelt out for the Dragons there. Looked like he ran a deep curl route to the outside there and just able to easy pitch and catch, but the Wildcats were also blitzing. Had Keith held on to that for just another second or two, Hunley was coming. It looks like Hunley's been given a lot of free rein tonight to go blitz.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 37-yard line of Clinton. 6:14 to play. The Dragons lead it 7-0. Wildcats have 5 on the front. Low snap. Picked up. Running back is moving the ball forward. He evaded the first tackle and moves the ball across the 40 up to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, like you said before, the Clinton offense, is getting several different running backs in at a time. So they've had King in, they've had Batista in. I think Dodie Truss has got a carrier too. Number 17 for them is Batista. So a lot of different people have touched the ball for Clinton.
First down, or 2nd down, 5 yards to go. We're down to 5:40 to play in the first half. We're going to take an extended halftime, just get our technical issue taken care of. Low snap again. Quarterback Keith avoids a sack, and there's a hold right there. Boom! Oh, there's a big hit on Keith. Big hit there by the Wildcats, number 10, but there was big-time holding in the backfield, and that's going to cost the Dragons.
Yeah, I believe it was Tyrese Allman that got held there that would have had a tackle easy right there on Keith, but because of the hold, it's going to back Clinton up to what looks like probably about 2nd and 15 after the penalty. Tyrese Allman, his helmet came off, so he has to come off for a play regardless if it was a penalty or not.
5 minutes, 20 seconds to play here in the second quarter. Penalty yardage indeed stepped off against the Dragons. 7-0 Clinton. The Wildcat offense with only one first down. We'll have Mark Hayes statistics at halftime once we get our radio situation figured out. The ball is walked back to the 32-yard line of Clinton. Wildcats with Jacob Burvin, along with Brian Kelly, Jaden Williams in the secondary. Wildcats also have Brandon Hayward, Justin Crowley, and one other Wildcat. I think that's Price Davis, I believe. Yes. The Wildcats down 7-0. Second down, 15 yards to go for Clinton back at their own 32. Good snap this time. Pressure pass is going to be caught by Doty. Doty is going to be dropped hard by Jacob Burvin at around the 34-yard line, where it'll be for the Clinton Dragons. Third down in about 12.
Yeah, David, is just a little hitch right there to Doty Trust, get it out quick, and they got probably looks 4 yards back on that. I think the Wildcats are running a little bit of a cover 4 here, trying to prevent anything over the top, because you see the safeties kind of rolled down close to the line of scrimmage right over top of those slots.
Here they come to the line once again. 4:24 to play. We're in the second period. 7-0 Dragons. The Wildcats won big last year. This is the third time in 4 years we've played at Clinton in this rivalry ball game. Joshua Keith at quarterback. Third down, 11 yards to go. Two receivers to the right. Here comes the snap. Lots of pressure. Quarterback almost gets away. He looks down the field. He fires the pass. It's caught by Doty Truss. And I believe he threw the ball. The official looked at it, but to me he looked like he was across the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
Absolutely, David. I 100% agree with you. That official, I believe it's the white hat, the back judge, literally came and put his foot where he thought the guy threw it from, Keith, and looked to see if that was where the marker was. And to me, he was past the line of scrimmage. That should be a legal forward pass.
It'll be first down, 10 yards to go at the Wildcat 45-yard line, 3:42 and counting here from Clinton. They've picked up some big plays on their offense here. The Wildcats trying to get a stop here, and there's a snap and a flag down. Check the call here.
It looks like it might be a false start by one of the Clinton people on offense. I was looking at, they threw it right in the direction of Jeremiah Blavelt, and it looks like Clinton might be backing up here. One thing to keep an eye on here, we talked about Keith running. Keith actually probably does a better job of scrambling and not getting past the line of scrimmage to allow other people to get open. He may be better at doing that than he is getting out running, David.
And here's the 5-yard step off against the Dragons back to the 49-yard line of Oak Ridge. 3:33 and counting. Clock never stopped as they move the ball around. Once again, they'll have two receivers split to the left, man in a slot to the left, two receivers to the right. Keith at quarterback's going to hand it to the back, and he is dropped right around the 48-yard line. Good, nice tackle by Jacob Burvin, and it'll be for the Dragons now. Second down and about 13 yards to go. We're down to 3:08 to play first half. Clinton 7, Oak Ridge nothing.
Great job there by the Wildcat defensive line of taking on blocks and making sure to take on those pulling guards and to allow the linebackers, to run to the football and make tackles and, prevent long gains.
Here they come to the line once again. The ball is across midfield now at the 49-yard line once again. Second down, 13 yards to go. The Wildcats showing blitz once again, coming in strong. Here's the pass. Bounced it up there, incomplete. A lot of pressure that time by Oak Ridge. Caused Keith to throw the pass sooner than he wanted to, and he didn't get a good pass off. It's 3rd and 13.
Yeah, it was a little short bubble route, too. If you're going to throw that route, it's got to come out quick, regardless of the pressure. And Keith almost just kind of short-armed it there, which caused it to skip out to his receiver. Wildcats in a 3rd and long here need a big stop.
Ball is at the 48-yard line, 2:39 to play first half, 7-0 Oak Ridge. The Wildcats will get the ball first in the second half. Want to stop right here. Three receivers to the right. The Wildcats showing blitz again. Joshua Keith with a lone running back behind him. Here they come with a blitz. He fumbles the ball. He is sacked! And they're going to call a face mask. Wildcats came in there with Ethan Hewitt, got the play, and they're going to get a call with a face mask. It's a play like that in every drive tonight that has hurt Oak Ridge.
You're absolutely right, David. I think Darren Osborne came off the edge there, and as Keith was coming back up, he was trying to go low to hit him and to prevent getting a face mask, but it looks like he, maybe have accidentally done that, and it's going to give the Clinton Dragons what it looks like probably a first down.
Austin Hill comes out of the ball game. He was in for a moment. We never have been able to get all the starters in. We are streaming this game right now on YouTube on our Prep Radio channel. Dragons have it now. Third down. 7 yards to go. Ball's at the 42-yard line. At the 42-yard line. Here comes the pass. A little screen pass is going to be caught. The Wildcats are going to try to hem him in. He goes backwards. Jacob Burvin is going to sling him down to the brand new turf here at Clinton City Field. Jacob Burvin stops the Dragons cold. And it's fourth down.
It's a great job there by Jacob Burvin and the defensive line. They recognized that was a screen right away. We saw that a lot last week with Bearden throwing screens at the Wildcat defense. So the Wildcats obviously repped that all week long, prevented that, and got Moody going side to side, and Burvin staying home, using his speed, forcing what looks like a 4th and 16.
Clock is moving at 1:45 to play. The Dragons will take as much time. The play clocks are not working. Obviously, Anderson County Schools have trouble with their play clocks here. Fourth down, 15 yards to go. Here's the snap, it's good. Here's the punt, it's terrible. Absolutely a terrible punt. It's gonna go bounding, almost got touched by a Wildcat at the 45-yard line. Those linemen got to get clear of that one. The Wildcats will have great field position, but can they do anything with it? The Wildcats have not been able to move the football.
David, that was a 4-yard punt right there, a 4-yard punt. So great field position for the Wildcats. They got to take advantage of it here. Maybe run a little RPOs, maybe run some stuff that if we're going to commit to running the ball, run something off that to get the Clinton defense out of position.
Wildcats have 1:19 to play here in the first half, down 7-0. Brandon Hayward will have single coverage out here to the right. Quarterback is Hayden Tarwater. 2 receivers to the left, 1 lone running back, Kendall Jackson. 1st and 10, Oak Ridge. Tarwater to pass. Across the way, pass in and complete. Almost intercepted, and that would have been a pick 6. That would have been the second interception. He got lucky there. They've got to go to the outside because throwing in the middle has been dangerous going.
Yeah, David, and you can't throw to the middle late. And honestly, I just think as that play, right before that play happened, I thought, the Wildcats really haven't taken a shot deep here. Let's try to see if we can use some of our speed and get behind some of these Clinton defenders and take a deep shot.
I think they can do it. Hayden's got a great arm here. His play is halted here. 1:13 to play and a timeout is asked for. We'll take it with him. We'll be back to Clinton in 60 seconds.
What's up with Tarwater?
If he throws it, he's going to throw it like as he threw it after Brandon made his cut, not looking forward. And that safety, he's telegraphing his passes.
We'll get back once again to Clinton, Tennessee. Second down, 10 yards to go. Handoff Kendall Jackson. Kendall moves the ball close to midfield. Once again, the Wildcats lose a helmet, and they're going to have to substitute.
Yeah, that's Tyrese Allman. That's the second time that's happened to him. Once on defense, once on offense here. So whatever the issue is with his helmet, got to keep him in the ball game.
Under a minute to play here. The Wildcats third down, 5 yards to go.
J.K. Morgan coming in for Tyrese now on offense.
Wildcats have Ferreira and Hayward splitting out to the right side. Jaden Williams is a receiver as well. Third down and 5, 42 seconds to play. Coach Ellison signaling in the play as time ticks away here. 35 seconds to play in the first half. 7-0 Clinton. Tarwater back to pass. Looks to run. In trouble. Eludes a tackle. Tries to get to the outside, and there he goes. Across the 50. Moves the ball and slung down. Wildcat fans wanted a horse collar, but did they call it? I believe they did.
Yeah, they called it right there. The flag came out super late. Now, obviously, the back judge was the one that threw it. He's coming over talking to the line judge here on this side. But I think the rule is they've changed the rule. You can pull at the horse collar, but it has to be pulled forward. If you make a backward pulling motion, that's when the penalty comes into play.
As long as this balloon doesn't break our camera, I'll be good. Andy's all over it, though. And yes, the penalty is a horse collar, and then the coach gets a penalty across the way there, so that's unsportsmanlike conduct on Coach Keith. So that'll be 15 yards, and the Wildcats are in field goal range.
Absolutely, David. And, you know, Coach Keith has got to be careful after that. You get one, and then after that is going to be an ejection and going to be a fine for him. So with as tense as it is here, not only do both players on both teams have to keep their cool, but now, you know, Coach Keith very much has to do so.
We're down to 21 seconds to play. The ball, where it is spotted right now, is at the 36-yard line. The referee and the side judge, once again, let's see if they're going to mark more yardage off against Clinton. 7-0 Dragons. Conversation here. They've moved the ball to the 36-yard line. And now they're going to come over to say it is a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct against Clinton. It'll be the penalty yardage stepped off to the 21-yard line. 21.2 seconds to play. Wildcats in field goal range now, but the Wildcats looking for 6, trying to get a little momentum as they head to the dressing room. Quarterback is Hayden Tarwater. Receivers left and right. Kendall Jackson in the backfield. Here comes the snap. They hand off to Kendall. Kendall tries to get outside, and he does! He's got smooth sailing into the end zone, but a flag is down. Kendall Jackson got to the corner. We might have a hole, we'll see.
It looks like it's in the area of a hold. It's right about the 10-yard line, right when Kendall made his cut to get around the edge there, and it looks like what it might be here.
12 seconds to play, so they'll back them up again. Just one penalty after another. Dragon faithful happy. We're down to 12 seconds to play, and it's just one penalty. I tell you, in these Oak Ridge Clinton games, they over-officiate. It happens every year.
I would 100% agree with that, and, you know, it's very hotly contested here, and Wildcats have 12 seconds. I would think you got to probably take shots at the end zone from this point.
7-0 Clinton, 12.2 seconds to play. And it'll be Oak Ridge. Once again, Tarwater looking at the play call. Has 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. 3-man front for the Dragons. They drop everyone else back. Hayden the pass, rolls, doesn't have much time. Looks, got to fire it, does. Caught, oh, it's dropped. Dropped by Jaden Williams. And the Wildcats will have the field goal unit onto the field here. Try to get some points.
Yeah, David, absolutely. And what they tried to do there was they tried to clear everything out, run 2 deep routes and clear it out for Brandon Hayward under the middle. But it was covered there for the Wildcats, and Hayden Tarwater had to roll out.
Brennan Pearson is going to attempt the field goal. They'll put the block down at around the 26-yard line on the left hash, and a timeout is asked for. 2.3 seconds to play, 7-0 our score. We'll be back with a field goal attempt in 30 seconds. David Clary back here along with James Branson. I think that's Andy Hudson over there doing camera work. Down on the field, we've got let's see, Christian Rosas Rodriguez. We got Alex Waraxa. We've got host Matthew Charles, Neil Patel, and Lee Wexler doing the work on the field. From the hash, the left hash, Brennan Pearson will attempt what looks like a 36-yard field goal. The holder is Marcus Melton, Hudson's long snapper. 2 seconds to play in a 7-0 ball game. Pearson to attempt. Good snap, good hold. Kick is on its way. Strong leg. It's up. It is up, and it is no good. Off to the left, and we go to halftime. The Wildcats are down 7-0.
Yeah, David, and it seems like if it's not one thing, it's something else for the Wildcats, whether it's a penalty or whether it's, missed opportunity right there. The Wildcats have everything they need to be in this game, and they technically are in this game. You're only down 7 points, but execution and being able to come out in the second half, I'm sure that's what Coach Gaddis is going to focus on here at halftime.
We're going to take an extended break. We're going to work on our radio coverage here. 7-0 our score. We're at halftime. Oak Ridge and the Clinton Dragons. We're going to send it back to Brian Bennett, and hopefully when we come back, the radio audience will have a clear sounding signal. We'll be back to Clinton City Field following this 5-minute timeout.
So what should we...
Let's totally move. Which camera? Which mic? This is a
camera. Can we directly...
the wireless to do it's kind of, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with that. Unless there's some buttons over here that's not I chose that.
It says out.
What?
Out.
I'm going to plan on using this one.
That said out in.
What does that say?
That's in. This is out.
Does it say in or light?
In. This is out. That's in.
Yeah.
your master going?
I don't know if that'll work.
I mean, you just, there's no good solution here. Where's the charger for this back?
It's in there. It's
Has to go in.
there's a little button.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Lee.
So what you should do, you know where the
But listen.
yeah, in there. Do you want to use the new mix? Do you want to?
Yes, go with the new.
Yeah.
You listen to let Mike talk. I don't know why that would be an issue.
Slide it. Oh.
Welcome back once again to Clinton City Field here, the Wildcats of Oak Ridge and the Clinton Dragons here. We need to get some room when we can. Welcome back once to Clinton City Field. We're at half. The Wildcats are down 7-0. We are streaming this game on YouTube. We're attempting to get our radio signal fixed, and hopefully we're working on that. I'm going to wander down here to Mike Sheehan. Mike, you've got.
Thank you, David. And again, this week, a very short scoring summary. It's hard to believe the Wildcats just can't seem to get it into the end zone. A true battle in the first quarter between two really defensive teams. The Wildcats and the Dragons battled to a 0-0 tie. Then in the fourth quarter, with 9 minutes and 1 second into the game, the second quarter, the quarterback Joshua Keith handed the ball off to Connor Moody from 10 yards out after an Oak Ridge personal foul penalty really gave them good field position down there. And they ran it in from 10 yards out to go up 6-0. Then Ryan Bradley, the kick was good for the Clinton Dragons, and the Dragons went up 7-0. Then it was a true battle all the way through the second quarter. The Wildcats got all the way down as far as the 19-yard line, and then got another face mask penalty, and then they got a personal foul penalty and got backed up, and right there at the very end of the game, the Clinton Dragons had a personal foul penalty. Kendall Jackson ran it in from 21 yards out. Everybody in the stadium thought it was a penalty. The Wildcats got called for a block in the back penalty. It got called back. And then Brandon Preston tried to kick a field goal with 2.3 seconds left from 29 yards out, but it wasn't meant to be. It went off to the left, and the Wildcats just couldn't quite get it in. And so the halftime score, the Clinton Dragons 7, the Wildcats 0. I want to retract something I said last week. I Googled Greenville right in the second quarter while the game was still going on, and I didn't realize it gave me Greenville, South Carolina. And I told everybody that it was 3 hours and 20 minutes to Greenville. It is Greenville High School in South Carolina. But to the high school we're going to in Greenville, Tennessee, it's only 1 hour and 30 minutes. I apologize for that. As we all know, next week we got to go over to the Farragut Admirals, and they're having a little bit of tough luck right now. They were 0-2 tonight, and they're hosting the Maryville Red Rebels as we speak, and next week we'll be over there. So they're going to be stinging, because you know how everybody knows the Maryville Red Rebels are the number 2 team in 6A, and deservedly so. They're a very talented team. I don't exactly have the score right here at halftime, but I can just about bet you that Maryville's going to win that game. And then Friday week on September the 17th, COVID hopefully will be over with at Lenore City. For the last 2 weeks, they have not played. They've had to forfeit due to COVID. So hopefully by the time the Wildcats get to play them on September the 17th over there, we will get to play that game. Then on September the 24th, there's a bye. And then on October the 1st, we'll be hosting the Powell Panthers. And that is probably going to be the regional game of the year right there. We have got to be ready for the Powell Panthers. They're very good this year. And then, as I mentioned earlier, on October the 8th, we'll be going down to Greenville. That's about a month and a week away. And then we play a really tough Carnes team down there in Carnes. Carnes is undefeated right now. They've got a big game tonight. That's going to be a tough game. And then we play Dobbins Bennett. And, they're ranked number 5 right now. And they're undefeated. They're really playing well. So our schedule's a killer. And then, of course, the last game of the year, we'll be playing the Campbell County Cougars. Now back to the voice of the Wildcats, David Clary.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Let me see if I have enough room to get the microphones over to Mark here. We've got a really strange – Andy, I'll let you hand it to him.
Thank you very much, David. At the half, as you said, Oak Ridge trails by a score of 7-0. Look at the first half statistics. First for Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge led on the ground by Kendall Jackson. Has 31 yards on 6 carries. Jovis Dozier has 1 yard on 1 carry. Hayden Tarwater has 1 carry for netting no yards. And Brandon Hayward has a carry for -3 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats have rushed the ball 9 times, totaling 29 yards on the ground. Through the air, not a pretty sight for the Wildcats tonight. Hayden Tarwater, 1 of 5 for -3 yards with an interception. Receiving tonight, Cameron Barnett had the reception for -3 yards. Oak Ridge had 3 first downs in the first half, penalized 7 times for 80 yards. On the ground, as I said, Oak Ridge had 29 yards on 9 carries. They had -3 yards through the air on 1 completion for a total offense tonight of 26 yards in the first half. Now look at Clinton. They're led on the ground by Eris King. He has 24 yards on 8 carries. Connor Moody, 22 yards on 4 carries. Elijah Batiste has 3 carries for 11 yards. William Taylor has rushed the ball twice for 8 yards. Rodavian Truss has a 6-yard carry. And Joshua Keefe, the quarterback for the Dragons, has 4 carries netting -13 yards. So as a team, the Dragons have rushed the ball 22 times in the first half, netting 58 yards on the ground. Through the air, Joshua Keefe has 6 completions on 10 attempts for a total of 47 yards. And Rodavian Truss has a completion for 18 yards for the Dragons. So as a team, the Dragons are 7 of 11 for 65 yards through the air. Receiving for the Dragons, they're led by Rodavian Truss. He has 3 receptions, totaling 37 yards. Jeremiah Blovelt has 36 yards on 2 catches. Lucas Kendall has a reception for no yards, and Connor Moody has a completion for -8 yards. So as I said, as a team on the ground, the Dragons have 58 yards on 22 carries. They've got 65 yards through the air on 7 completions for a total offense in the first half of 123 yards. They've been penalized 7 times for 60 yards and have 9 first downs in the first half. So looking at the team side by side, not a pretty sight for the Wildcats, to be honest. On the ground, Oak Ridge, 29 yards. Clinton, 58 yards. Through the air, Oak Ridge, -3 yards. Clinton, 65. For a total offense, Oak Ridge with 26 total offensive yards in the first half. Clinton, 123. Oak Ridge has 3 first downs in the first half. Clinton has 9. Both teams been penalized 7 times, Oak Ridge for 80 yards and Clinton for 60 yards. Again, this is Marquez, where at the half, Oak Ridge trails by a score of 7-0, and we'll be back after this 4-minute timeout.
Which one do you want to use? All right, this one. All right, doesn't matter. Here.
Go ahead and talk.
Plug your mic.
Yeah, we'll just plug it directly into that.
What do you mean?
Well,
7. Both teams have 7.
welcome back once again to Clinton City Field. At halftime, the Wildcats of Oak Ridge trailing by a score of 7-0. Still working on our signal issues here, and we apologize for that. Hopefully we've got the stream. Anybody who might be watching the stream right now knows my phone number. You can text me and let me know it's doing okay. I apologize for you people. I'm going to take a break here right now, and I'm going to take a break. here right now. Wildcats in a 7-0 ball game. We'll be back to Clinton City Field in 2 minutes.
No audio?
Yeah.
What about now? Okay. Sorry about all the issues. All right. Thank you. Coming through loud and clear.
Okay, good. Who said that?
Friels.
Are you organized now?
Nope. Seven. Each side.
Welcome back once again to Clinton City Field here on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, prepradio.com, Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15. We're also streaming this game live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We apologize for all the issues here. Hopefully you were able to understand what's going on. The Wildcat offense has been sluggish here at James Branson. The Wildcats are going to get the ball first, and hopefully they can get the offense rolling. Penalties have hurt them whenever they've really made a good play. They've been hurt by penalties.
Absolutely, and we were talking about maybe trying to go downfield with it there toward the end of the half, and unfortunately Hayden was under fire a little bit there, didn't have enough time to throw it that far downfield. So the Wildcats got to come up with some quick passing game, maybe some quick out routes or bubble routes to where you have receivers blocking for you. Again, maybe some quick RPOs that might help the Wildcat offense out here, but they got to come out quick because we get the ball first. So hopefully we have a game plan on how to execute against this Clinton defense.
I think they're going to need to get the ball in the hands of Hundley more. I mean, Hundley hasn't even been involved with the offense right now.
No, he hasn't, and I think they've been using him a lot on defense. We haven't seen Hundley. We haven't seen, I believe, DeJavis Dozier. I think Jaleel Anderson, he played a little bit last week. Haven't seen him. It's been mainly Kendall. They have been rotating several of the receivers in because we have a lot of our secondary and our receivers going both ways.
And so here we go. Here once again, the two teams are getting ready. As we mentioned, the Wildcats will get the ball first as we start playing the second half. One thing I noticed in the first half is just how I don't know if Mark did the time of possession, but they just dominated the clock.
They did dominate the clock, and it wasn't really big plays. They did have a few flashy plays, but even the flashy plays were maybe 15, 20-yard gains every now and then, but it's really been predicated on their running game and just lining up and powering up the middle. I think Clinton got out of what they were doing well when they tried to spread it out.
I think it was Dozier who had the nice return earlier in the ball game. Let's see if he can get another one off. The Wildcats will also drop a couple other guys back to receive the kick, and we're about to get set.
It looks like Hundley is back deep to receive, as well as Dozier and Bourbon. So you have a lot of speed and power back there. If I were Clinton, I might obviously you don't want to kick it to Brandon Hayward, but it's almost pick your poison here on the kickoff return for Clinton.
And they'll be kicking from right to left in a 7-0 ball game as we broadcast here on our FM 92.7, prepradio.com, and Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15. Officials are about set. They're looking for the chain gang right now. I think that's the issue right now. And I guess they'll return. There they are. They have returned to the field. The official is about to signal that it's time to play football here. This is the third time in 4 years Oak Ridge has had to travel to Clinton. They're playing on their brand new turf field, and it's beautiful. It's really nice.
It's a really nice turf field, and it really needed an upgrade. It's nothing against Clinton, but that their field was so soggy for some time when it would rain and stuff like that. They're really going to see a lot of improvement with turf.
And here's the kickoff by Clinton. It's a high pop-up kick. Dozier's going to field it at the 25. DeJavis Dozier moves the ball up the sideline again. Breaks the tackle, moves the ball, and they're going to say officially went out of bounds at the 44-yard line. And that is where the Wildcats will take over. First down, 10 yards to go.
Yeah, David, and if you're going to do those pop-up kicks, Clinton, number one, you have to cover and pin them toward the sideline. And once you do that, those kicks have to be high. Clinton is not kicking it very high. The higher you kick it, the more time you allow for your coverage team to get downfield. And DeJavis is just taking advantage of that with those quick kicks.
Wildcats will have Brandon Hayward split out to the right. Jaden Williams as a receiver. Kendall Jackson is the lone running back. Wildcats have two receivers to the right. Hayden Tarwater at quarterback. Pumps once. Wants to go deep. Across the way, Jaden Williams. Incomplete.
Yeah, the Wildcats ran basically two slant and go routes, a sluggo route there. Brandon Hayward and Jaden Williams both were running slants and cut it straight upfield. Now, credit Hayden for throwing that ball deep and not eating it, because hopefully that'll back up Clinton's defenders just a little bit to open up some things underneath.
I think that was open, to be honest with you there. See if they go back to that. Here's the Wildcats have it now. Second down, 10 yards to go. Wildcats have struggled to run the football. That has been the problem for the Wildcats the first three ball games. See what they can do here. Second down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 44-yard line. Here comes the handoff to Kendall Jackson. Kendall stuffed at the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down, 10 yards to go.
Looks like a little bit of a counter play there as you had Ja Hunley in as an H-back for the Wildcats, and as he was in, he was pulling around the other side. Kendall followed him. It'd be nice to see for Hunley to get involved in the offense here, whether it's a little quick out route or something like that. He hasn't seen the ball much on offense tonight at all.
When has he seen the ball?
Maybe last week.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be third down, about 11 yards to go. The Wildcats have lost a yard here, have under 30 yards of offense in the game. Here comes the snap. Tarwater in trouble, sacked. Stepped up in the pocket, but there really wasn't much of a pocket there, and the Wildcats will be forced to punt.
Wasn't much of a pocket there. Clinton was blitzing all out, and the reason a lot of people are going to see a lot of receivers open for the Wildcats on underneath routes on there, and the reason is because everybody was sent to blitz and put pressure on Tarwater. Clinton defense just getting to Tarwater too fast.
Yeah, the Wildcat offensive line, which is big, has struggled a bit, but usually in pass, blocking, they've done a pretty good job, but Hayden just got to get the ball to there quicker.
Got to get that ball quicker, and especially if you know a blitz is coming. You got to be able to identify your blitzers as well prior to hopefully make a quicker read.
Dragons have called a timeout here. They called a timeout. I guess they didn't have the right personnel in there. Clock is still moving. 10 minutes, 18 seconds to play. They ticked off about 15 seconds off the clock with a timeout. 7-0 our score. We'll take a break. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Welcome back once again. The Wildcats in punt formation here. Here's the snap to Bourbon. Bourbon's going to punt it. It's going to take a nice end over inbound. Take a nice Oak Ridge roll. And it's going to the 19-yard line, and that is where Clinton will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. So the opening drive, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, not much there at all. You had a nice kick return. If our special teams could play offense, we probably have more yards special teams-wise on returns than we do on offense right now. Just got to get going. I think, like you said, trying to get outside, maybe a quick pass or a quick screen with blocking to the 3-receiver side, or maybe even a quick toss, something to get our athletes out in space.
Yeah, I think a sweep will be perfect. Just get to the corners there because, I'll just
Test their speed on that.
Test their speed. You're exactly right. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 19-yard line. Clinton moving right to left here, wearing their all-black jerseys. Hand off to their back, and he gets a full head of steam and moves the ball forward for a gain of about 5. It'll bring up second down, 5 yards to go. They struggle to run the ball. One of the Wildcats a little slow to get up, and let's see if he's okay. One thing I see that is a positive is there hasn't been a whole lot of, or if any, cramps. Of course, it is cooler tonight, but that is something that's plagued the Wildcats the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, David, we look like we can go right now as we see Javis Dozier coming in for Hunley on this next play.
Got to get off the field here. It'll be second down, 5 yards to go. Hand off to the back. He is stuck right at the line of scrimmage. Ethan Hewitt, Bourbon, along with Kelly and Morgan, I guess. It'll be third down at about 4.
Yeah, it's a great job there by the defensive line of the Wildcats, but I think one of the things we got to see defensively is it has to be consistently. The Wildcats honestly just aren't doing it consistently on defense, tackling the run, so it'd be interesting to see what Clinton comes out here and does in third down.
They've gotten big plays on third down the whole night, including some penalties that have gone against Oak Ridge. Third down, it's about 4.5 yards to go. The ball's resting at the Clinton 25-yard line. Wildcats showing blitz once again. Joshua Keith, the quarterback, hands it to the back, and he moves the ball to around the 30-yard line. It'll be fourth down and about 2 yards to go for a first. Wildcats down 7-0, 8:35 to play. The ball is shy of a first down. It's fourth down and a yard to go. Clinton, you got to punt. There's no way in the world, but you can't jump off sides right here. That's one thing the Wildcats can ill afford to do. They cannot jump off sides.
Absolutely, and with it being 4th and 1 there, King getting 4 yards on that play, forcing the issue here. Can't jump off sides, and honestly, if you're Clinton here, you got nothing to lose, and so also need to be aware of the fake that could possibly be coming.
They're not going to fake it at the 28-yard line in a 7-0 ball game. That'll give Oak Ridge great field position. They've already used one of their timeouts. They're late getting a guy onto the field. Clock is ticking down. That should be delay of game. That's a 5-yard step off. That's going to help the Wildcats. So Clinton didn't have all their personnel in the ball game. That'll be 5 yards against them, delay of game. And they'll step off 5 yards. 7:54 to play. We're in the third quarter. The Wildcats are down 7-0.
Yeah, Clinton's got to be really careful here as Brandon Hayward is back deep to receive. Brandon with great athleticism. I would kick it over toward the Clinton sideline if I were them.
Here's the snap. It's good. The punt is away. It's short again. Wildcats are going to have great field position. It's going to take a Clinton bounce, but it's not going to be a great one. It's going to roll dead at around the 44-yard line. The Wildcats have had field position in the ballgame. They just haven't been able to take advantage of it.
Absolutely, and you got to change something on offense here, whether it's personnel, whether it's play calling. In order to move the ball, we have to change something. And once again, to get our athletes out in space somewhere.
The Wildcats are going to get Peyton Sharp in as a receiver. Wildcats getting a little bit more speed in the game. Ferreira's in there. Wildcats with 2 receivers to the left. Kendall Jackson with Hayden Tarwater. 1st and 10 Oak Ridge at the Clinton 44, down to 7-0.
Honestly, I didn't see what happened there, David. It's going to be a procedure penalty, either offsides or false start on the Wildcats or the Dragons, and it looks like it is offsides on Clinton.
That'll be a 5-yard step off against them. 7:41 to play. Had a lot of those in this one, James.
Yeah, but we got to capitalize on it. We got to take advantage of these breaks. It can't get any easier.
Ball's at the 39-yard line of the Dragons. First down, 5 yards to go. 7:41 to play, third quarter in a 7-0 ball game as we broadcast outside of the press box here. Here comes Kendall Jackson getting the corner. Kendall Jackson cuts around 20. Kendall Jackson to the 15. Kendall Jackson driving all the way down to the 8-yard line, where it'll be first down, 10 yards to go.
Looks
and
like
another flag.
Looks like we have another flag on the play. It might be a hold in this scenario for the Wildcats, as it's right at the 41-yard line, right in that area. I was just about to say, what a great job by the Wildcat offensive line to get Kendall time out in space, and Kendall used his speed there, but unfortunately it was a hold that occurred on the Clinton sideline.
Over officiating in the Clinton Oak Ridge game, and it's unfortunately it's not proving out well for the Wildcats here. Wildcats penalized on the hold. They'll step the yardage off. 7:30 to play.
That'll be their 8th penalty for the Wildcats on the night, and a lot of those major penalties, 10 and 15-yard penalties.
Yeah, and that one negated what would be about a 25-yard run there. So all the way back on the other side of the 50. Wildcats got to quit holding if they're doing it for sure. As the Wildcats have 3 receivers split to the right, Brandon Hayward. Wildcats have not really got it into the playmakers. Kendall again getting the call this time. No place to go. Tries to break a tackle, gets to the 50-yard line, and that's going to be a gain of nothing, maybe a yard at most. It'll bring up second down and long for the Wildcats.
Yeah, David, one thing that I'm watching out on the edges right now is just some of the receiver and cornerback exchanges between the Dragons and the Wildcats, both of them being tackled on each side. So really got to be careful on those edges of what's happening, because it's getting pretty physical.
Kendall's out of the ball game now. Hundley is going to check in as the running back. 6:55 to play, third quarter, 7-0 Dragons. The Wildcats. Tarwater pumps, rolls, looks, gonna go deep. He's got to throw it. There's the man. He drops it. Dropped it. That was 6 points for the Wildcats. Third down.
Yeah, David, on that route is kind of the opposite of a smash concept there, where the outside receiver, which was Hayward, ran a little bit of a hitch route, and the Wildcat receiver ran a post route across the middle, beat all the safeties deep, and was at the 5-yard line all by himself.
Wildcats just struggling on every aspect of the football game, James.
Yeah, David, and you really just got to pick it up here. It's going to be 3rd and long, so it should be interesting to see what we do here.
On the 50-yard line, 6:39 to play. Tarwater with 3 receivers to his left, 1 low man to the right, and flags are down. And I'm not sure what happened here. I guess a procedural call, I'm not sure. Did they line up off sides? He stopped play. It's dead ball foul, illegal procedure, Oak Ridge. Wildcats really struggling. Coach Gaddis has words with the official. I guess the center moved the ball.
Either the center moved the ball, or maybe one of our linemen put their hand down and took it right back up. I'm not really sure. I'll be honest, I didn't see it on that play there, as I believe J.K. Morgan's coming in for the Wildcats on the offensive line.
Now it's 3rd and 20 for the Wildcats, down 7-0 already. 6:39 to play, third quarter. The Wildcat offense can't catch a break. Tarwater back to pass. Flags are down again. And let's see what happened here. James?
Again,
over officiating in the Clinton Oak Ridge game.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I was watching the offensive line there to see what happened, and it's going to be a false start on Oak Ridge. So it must be one of the receivers. I'm not sure. I can't really tell.
5 more yards, and backwards we go. Very frustrating ball game here if you're a Wildcat fan. Now it's all the way back to the 41-yard line, where it's now 3rd down and 25 yards to go. 7-0 our score. 6 minutes, 39 seconds to play. Third quarter action. Peyton Sharp is going to be receiver split to the right. I mean, do you try to just get a half of it here?
Yeah, I think you just try to get half of it or get something to put yourself on the other side of the 50-yard line at this point.
Hundley in the backfield along with Tarwater, quarterback. From the shotgun, 3 receivers. Has some time, floats it, passes caught. Here comes a good run. That's Hundley. Hundley spins forward and it got blasted. And there's a personal foul against the Clinton Dragons. Targeting to the face mask, and that's going to give Oak Ridge a first down. They've got to get the ball to Hundley, and they finally did it.
Yeah, it's a really nice middle screen play there. Just let all the defenders come rushing upfield, dump it off to Hundley. Hundley uses his speed to get upfield, and he got hit. Basically, when the defender came in, he extended his hands. He hit Ja right in the face mask, basically. If it's going to be a face mask or targeting, whatever it is, hopefully it's going to give the Wildcats a first down.
And they're going to step the penalty yardage off here. It'll be Oak Ridge getting a first down. So Wildcats catch a break finally here.
And it is targeting against Clinton, so it gives the Wildcats a first down. And that's going to be a big penalty because I believe that should be a 15-yarder.
And indeed, they're going to step the yardage from the spot. It's going to be inside the Clinton 30-yard line. But, James, they got to do something with it. They got to continue to get the ball in number 7's hands.
You know, David, I'm counting defenders here, and Clinton is only putting 5 defenders on the box. So the Wildcat offensive line should have man-on-man blocking up the middle here.
1st and 10 Wildcats at the Clinton 27. Here comes the handoff, moving the ball forward to the 25-yard line. That's Hundley once again.
We got a Clinton Dragon. His helmet came off, and he seems to be in a lot of pain. Not sure exactly what it is here, but that is going to be number 31 for the Dragons. Number 31 for them is Riley Silk.
Let's take a quick timeout. This injury timeout is brought to you by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. If you are injured, call Donnie. 7-0 Dragons, back in 60 seconds.
James Branson back here at Clinton City Field. We would like to call on all of our 30,000 plus great ORHS alumni out there to get involved in the inaugural Oak Ridge Public Schools Give Back program. Who helps determine the future of our great city and the quality of the education services Oak Ridge Schools provides? You do. We could use your help. By giving to your alma mater, you have the opportunity to contribute to our ongoing tradition of excellence. Of course, the size of your gift and the way that you give depends on your personal circumstances. To donate, visit www.orpsef.org today.
James, Wildcats second down, 8 yards to go. The injured Dragon assisted off the field. We hope he's okay, favoring what appears to be an ankle or a leg of an injury of some sort. Tarwater and company, 6:09 to play third quarter. Second down, 8 at the Clinton 25-yard line. Oak Ridge down 7-0. Tarwater with 3 receivers to the left. Handoff goes. Good block. Touchdown, Oak Ridge! Ja Hundley scores! He's got speed, he's got power, and he's got 6 points for the Wildcats.
Great job there by Ja using his speed, but even better job by Brandon Hayward. Brandon Hayward came from his receiver position to block the outside linebacker and the defensive end. The defensive end was coming to tackle. He blocked both of them, and the Wildcats made that adjustment to get Ja out in space.
And the Wildcats will go for the extra point. I believe it'll be Efren Rodriguez to attempt the extra point. Marcus Melton to hold. 7-6 our score. The snap, the hold, the kick is on its way. It's up. It is tie ball game here at Clinton City Field. 7-7 our score. 5 minutes, 55 seconds to play. We'll be back with the Wildcat kickoff in 60 seconds. Welcome back once again to Clinton. The Wildcats have tied the ball game, 7-7 the score. What a touchdown run. We'll come back and talk about that. Oh, Brennan Pearson just nailed that kick. He almost kicked that out of the end zone. No return for the Dragons, the Wildcat defense, and the fans back in the ball game.
Yeah, everybody's kind of back in the ball game, and all night long we've been talking about just one step, just one block here or there has really prevented the Wildcats from breaking this open, and Ja Hunley did his job there. The line did their job. Brandon Hayward, nice block out on the edge to spring Hunley for, I believe, what was that, about 26-yard touchdown?
Most definitely. 7-7 our score, 5:54 to play, third quarter. Here come the Clinton Dragons back out on offense. And play is halted again. And I believe, not exactly sure, I think they're going to be penalized. Illegal substitution or delay of game. That's 5 yards against the Clinton Dragons. This game is, kind of lived up to its billing. We knew it was going to be a tight one. Clinton 2-0 coming into this game. That's a 5-yard penalty. It is 1st and 15 at the 15-yard line. Joshua Keith to pass. Looks deep. Goes down the way. That pass is incomplete. Jaden Williams defending for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge wearing their white jerseys with the Cardinal stripes down the side, Cardinal numerals. The Dragons wearing their all black jerseys with orange and white. It is 2nd and 15.
Yeah, that would be Lucas Kendall there that was on the post route for the Dragons. Keith just overthrew him a little bit, but Williams is there man-to-man, step for step with Kendall on that play.
Single receiver split to the left side, 7-7 our score. The Wildcats and Dragons here at Clinton. Joshua Keith, the quarterback, back to pass, pressured, overloops a sack, tries to get outside. Jacob Irvin slings him down to the brand new plastic turf here at Clinton, Tennessee. No gain on the play. It's 3rd down facing the Dragons, 3rd and 15.
Really nice job there, Bourbon widening as Hunley went on a blitz there, which forced Keith to roll out and scramble, and really nice job of pursuit there by Bourbon to stay even with the line of scrimmage and make a tackle, maybe giving up a yard.
3rd down, 14 yards to go, 5 minutes, 17 seconds to play, third quarter. Wildcats need a stop here. They should get good field position if they can keep the Dragons hemmed in. They've made some mistakes with penalties. Got to get good coverage, no pass interference. Kind of a mismatch on this side here in terms of height. Joshua Keith at quarterback, 3rd and 14. Flags are down. Is it delay of game? Did the Dragons take too long? What's the call? It is delay of game. 5 more backwards, or is it a legal procedure?
I believe that he motioned a false start there on that play against the Dragons as number 70 for the Wildcats is coming out on defense.
Must be what they're emphasizing, this movement, false start. It's happened to both teams. Nobody else sees it. At least I don't see it, but I'm blind. 3rd down, 19 yards to go. Joshua Keith avoids the sack, looks to pass, fires a pass. It's going to be caught. Boom! Big stick. They will not get that 1st down. Price Davis blasts him. It's 4th down. The Dragons in a 7-7 ball game. We'll send the punt team out on the field. Great play by Oak Ridge.
Really nice play there and good coverage by the Wildcats as they had to cover the flats out there. Braylon Taylor just on an out route. What really kept that from being a bigger play for the Dragons was the fact that Jeremiah Blavelt was just jogging his route. He didn't clear it out there, and so it made it an easy play for the Wildcats.
4th down, 3 yards to go. Brandon Hayward standing back at the 45-yard line. Can't jump off sides. No procedural calls. The Wildcats have come close to blocking punts. They blocked one last week against the Bulldogs. Here's the punt. It's away. Hayward feels it, runs with it. 50, 45, 40. Brandon Hayward pushed out of bounds at the Clinton Dragon 36-yard line. Great field position again for the Wildcats.
Really good field position there, and Clinton's best punt of the night, which maybe went 20 yards, is going to net a total of about 6 yards. So based off that return from Hayward, putting the Wildcats in great field position at the 36-yard line.
Wildcats get a fresh running back, Kendall Jackson, back in the ball game. Oak Ridge 1st down, 10 yards to go at the 36. 2 receivers split to the right. The Wildcats have Peyton Sharp to the right side as a receiver, 2 to the left. Here comes the handoff, Kendall Jackson. Kendall, no place to go. Down he goes. Wildcats will lose yardage. Kendall loses yardage. It's second down, and we'll call it 11.
Yeah, David, on outside edge runs like that, as a running back, you either have to get out in speed, use your speed, or if you know that you're cut off from the outside, just cut it up and get as many yards as you can.
3 minutes to play here in the third period. 7-7 the score. The Wildcats lost a yard here. Second and 11. Kendall Jackson, the lone running back. The Wildcats have 3 receivers split to the right. Ferreira, along with Peyton Sharp. Jaden Williams, I believe. Here comes the handoff. Kendall met in the backfield. No place to go. Lost a couple more yards. I mean, really, I don't know what to say there, James. I mean, he's lost on 2 consecutive plays. He's now lost 4 yards. It's now third down, 13 yards to go. Number 1 stays in the ball game, looking for Hundley. Here he comes off the Oak Ridge sideline, and Kendall Jackson will check out. 2 minutes, 21 seconds to play third quarter. 7-7 the score.
Yeah, David, and it looks like the offensive line for the Wildcats has to seal that edge and get that reach block because the receivers are doing a great job of blocking the corners and linebackers.
Hayden Tarwater, third down, 13 yards to go. Wildcats had great field position. Can't mess it up here. Ball's at the 39-yard line. Tarwater to pass. Has time. Looks. Throws it into the ground. And the receiver is right there. And I believe the official's going to see it. It was intended for number 7. He was right there. You can't call that white hat. That's not a penalty.
No, and this is just very reminiscent of what happened in the South Doyle game. We had a very similar situation when the Wildcats were driving. Hayden grounded it right near Hundley or another receiver. In this case, it was Hundley. But in the South Doyle game, as they're waving it off, because there's no way that's intentional grounding at all.
Well, it'll be Oak Ridge forced to punt, though. Let's see if we get a fake right here. It wouldn't surprise me if Mr. Bourbon takes off with it.
Or even Brian Kelly here. Brian Kelly's the other guy, the left-footed guy. We haven't really shown that we faked it with him yet, and he has a lot of speed as well.
Fourth down, 13 yards to go for the Wildcats. Wildcats laid a man onto the field. 7-7 our score. Minute 52 to play third quarter. Ball's at the Clinton 39, fourth down, 13. Snap is good. Bourbon punts. High kick. It's a good one. It's going to bound at around the 15-yard line. Officially, they're going to say it looks like the 16-yard line, and that is where the Dragons will take over. So, the Wildcats, a wasted possession.
Yeah, David, and you just got to do something with those outside runs. I mean, that's all we got to say. Kendall Jackson's got to make a move, make a man miss, and get out into space. When you have one-on-one blocking as a offensive lineman, there's one guy not accounted for. Kendall has to account for that guy, use his speed or use some type of move to get it open.
I just think, we've had great field position. You got to take advantage of things like that because eventually Clinton's got athletes. They can pop one.
Well, and they've shown that they can hold on to the ball in the first half as well, so you got to be aware of that.
It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for the Dragons. The ball is at the 16, maybe the 17-yard line. Joshua Keith, the quarterback, 2 receivers to his right, hands it to his running back, and he moves the ball to around the 18-yard line. Not much running room there. It'll be second down, a minute 34 to play in a 7-7 ball game. A game you're listening to live on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, prepradio.com, and Oak Ridge Schools Television Channel 15. We're also streaming live on our internet site, on YouTube, on our Prep Radio channel. It'll be second down, 8 yards to go. It's a long 8. Ball is at around the 18-yard line. 4-man front, actually 5 on the front. This Wildcats not showing blitz this time. Keith is going to pick up the snap. It was low. Rolls to pass. Fires the pass. Incomplete. Wildcats put pressure on the backside, and Keith didn't deliver a great pass. It is third down facing Clinton.
Yeah, as Keith rolled out there, really nice recovery from the low snap. Clinton's really struggled with low snaps all night long. The Wildcats have to put pressure, maybe do something to the center to affect him even more to cause a high snap or a quick snap, but the Dragons just not able to come up with a pretty on-point pass there by Blavelt.
He's cramping on the sideline, so he's out of the ball game. So Doty Truss is going to be single receiver here to the left side. A minute to play third quarter in a 7-7 ball game. Keith at quarterback, one lone running back. The snap is good. Handoff on a reverse. The Wildcats are going to drop him at the 15-yard line. Oak Ridge slowing down the Clinton offense. They have had that one drive. The Wildcat defense, Jeff Miner and his staff have done an excellent job as usual.
As usual, David, because you think about this Clinton offense, I think the last couple weeks have put up 40 and 50 points apiece. So the fact that the Wildcats are holding them to 7, the defense is doing its job. Now we need the offense to get going, because you're going to end up with good field position here. Clinton can't punt very far, and you have Brandon Hayward standing at the 48-yard line ready to return.
4th down, 6 yards to go. Punting from inside the 10-yard line. 24 seconds to play. Good snap. Punt is terrible once again. It is absolutely a horrible punt. Taking a great Oak Ridge bounce all the way down to the 28-yard line. Special teams hurting the Dragons here. But we've said it. Oak Ridge has got to take advantage.
You got to take advantage of it. You have the ball inside the Clinton 30-yard line, and yet another single-digit punt for Clinton. I think they might be averaging like 12 yards a punt at this point, David.
We'll ask Mark about that here in a bit. Andy Hudson doing our camera work tonight here, along with Christian Rosas Rodriguez, Lee Wexler doing camera work, along with Matthew Charles, Alex Waraxa, Neil Patel, Brian Bennett at the station. 15 seconds to play, third quarter, from the 27-yard line of Clinton. Hundley is in the backfield now, and Hundley gets the call. Hundley bounces off a tackle. Guess where he's going, ladies and gentlemen? 15-yard line, and out of bounds he goes. That is a 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down. Hundley with a great run.
That's the difference in the running game tonight when Hundley is in. When Hundley gets hit at the line of scrimmage, he's able to bounce off and get wide and use his speed. He makes men miss in open space, and you end up with what looks like should be a first down. They might have to measure here.
And they're going to bring the chains across the field. The Wildcats in a 7-7 ball game. Where they've got it spotted now, it is second down and a yard to go. The ball is at around the 16-yard line. It looks like they're going to bring the chains onto the field. Or are they? I guess not. It's going to be second down. 6 seconds to play, third quarter. Hayden Tarwater and the company trying to get the Wildcats their first lead of the night. Handoff. There goes Jaw Hundley. Hundley has that first down, moves the ball inside the 15, and that is the final play of the third quarter. We've played 3 quarters of football complete here at Clinton City Field. 7-7 our score. We'll be back to Clinton following this 90-second timeout. First down, 10 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball is at the 14-yard line. Brandon Hayward in the Wildcat position at quarterback. Whistle blows, opening play of the fourth quarter, and movement again on the line. I think there was I think that whistle actually caused some problems in Oak Ridge. There was a first whistle blowing the quarter set, and then I think there was some movement there. I think they caused it more than anything. Hopefully no penalty yardage here. There is no penalty. So there was a whistle, an inadvertent whistle, I think.
I will credit the referees that at some points tonight, they've been able to get together, discuss, and make the right decision.
Wildcats have Brandon Hayward at quarterback and the Wildcat from the 15-yard line. He's going to roll to his right, behind his blockers. 5-4, touchdown! Brandon Hayward for the Wildcats. Brandon Hayward gives Oak Ridge the lead. The Wildcats on top of the Dragons, 13-7. A little wrinkle that the Wildcats put into practice this week, and the Wildcats have 6 on the board.
Great job there by Brandon Hayward, just following his blockers. He used his running back to show him where to go, able to make a couple moves here and there. Nice job getting in the end zone, and you love to see a little innovation coming out of the Wildcat offense.
Wildcats were late a man off the field, so that's a penalty. Justin Crowley did not get on the field. The Wildcats broke the huddle with 12, so they're going to back him up. Hopefully that won't be a factor here. The Wildcats will have to kick a longer extra point. It'll be Efren Rodriguez here to attempt the extra point. 13-7 the score, 11:53 to play here in the ballgame. The holder, Marcus Melton. Riley Hudson to snap. Melton to hold. Efren kicks it, boots it, drills it, scores! The Wildcats have the lead. 14-7 the score. We'll be back with a Wildcat kickoff in 60 seconds. Fourteen unanswered points by the Wildcats here in the second half to take the lead, 14-7, 11:53 to play. A lot of football to be played here at Clinton City Field in front of a packed house. Jam-packed Clinton City Field. The Wildcats, Brennan Pearson to kick off. He's booted a couple in the end zone. See what he can do here. He drills it again. Oh my goodness. Doty just watches it sail over the top of him. It'll be 1st and 10 Dragons at the 20.
Yeah, it's great, David, when you have a kicker that can put it into the end zone at the high school level because obviously there's no return, and it's really nice to see that. Very reminiscent of Danny Hordale that used to do that all the time for the Wildcats. In fact, I think he often aimed to put it through the uprights.
Yeah, that was his goal as the Wildcat defense. Let's check some of the players here. Justin Crowley, Jaw Hunley, Brandon Hayward in the secondary, Jaden Williams, Price Davis. The linebackers are Kelly, and here's another flag.
Too many men on the field there this time for the Dragons, as I believe they substitute a receiver off late.
Coach Keith has got to be very disappointed, like Coach Gaddis has. Both teams have had these procedural type calls go against them tonight. 5-yard step off. It's first down, 15 yards to go. We'll get the complete recap of all the penalties. The Wildcats showing blitz once again on Joshua Keith. Here comes the handoff to the running back. He is smothered at the 15-yard line. It'll be second down and long.
If we can force them to pass, I think that
11:30 to play in the ball game. 14-7. The Wildcats trying to pick up their first win of the year. Clinton undefeated, coming in 2-0, have dominated every opponent they've played. Keith, second down, 15 yards to go. Joshua back to pass. Rolling in trouble. Sack City, baby, at the 1-yard line. Down goes the sophomore. It'll be third and long.
Great job there by the Wildcat defense, and especially I think Brian Kelly came in to help out with that. It looked like the Wildcats were playing man coverage, and which freed up the outside linebacker in Kelly to go on a blitz there and put pressure on Keith.
All the way back, they'll be operating from their own end zone. The ball's put down at the 2-yard line. It is third down. Long. They've got to get all the way up to the 30-yard line. Third down, 26 yards to go. 2 receivers split to the right. Quarterback Joshua Keith. Movement, rolling, looks, in trouble, fires, pass, almost intercepted. They're going to have to punt, and they can't do that, ladies and gentlemen. The Wildcats are going to get great field position.
Field position. I wouldn't be surprised. The Wildcats have been fingertips away several times from blocking a punt all night long, and now the Dragons are going to have to punt from their own 2-yard line, so put even more pressure on here. The Wildcats have already blocked one last week, so love to see that here in this scenario.
This, of course, is a district game for the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats and the Clinton Dragons. Clinton 2-0, Oak Ridge 0-2. They'll be punting the heel on the back end of the end zone. Brandon Hayward standing back at the 13. Here's the punt. It's high, it's short, it's returnable. Here comes Oak Ridge. Out to the side he goes. Hayward, 20, pushed out of bounds, driven out of bounds. Flags are down on the play.
Yeah, David, it looks like there might be a block in the back or a hold here for the Wildcats, but either way, you maybe get about a 5 or 6 yard return out of it. The hold's going to back you up what looks like maybe it's about the 30-yard line. Either way, the Wildcats are in great field position to take command of this game and go up 2 scores.
Oak Ridge on top, 14-7, 10 minutes, 14 seconds to play. Packed house here at Clinton City Field. The Wildcats next week will travel to Farragut to take on the Admirals. The Wildcats, a lot of penalties in this ball game, and they are going to step yardage back all the way up to the 36-yard line of the Dragons. So the Wildcats will have great field position to start this drive. The Wildcats will have Kendall Jackson in the backfield. The Wildcats will have Peyton Sharp as a receiver. He'll split to the right. Wildcats will have Price Davis to his right. Andrew Ferreira for the Wildcats. And
Jakyron Pendergrass.
Kendall Jackson moves the ball and runs over that Dragon. Runs him over at the 28-yard line. The Oak Ridge crowd is on his feet. Kendall Jackson, Freight Train Jackson, moves the ball for a great gain.
Finally, Kendall's able to get out in open space there. Runs over 29 for them. That is Derek Bean.
Ball is at the 26-yard line. It'll be second down, 2 yards to go. Hayden Tarwater at quarterback. Waiting for the snap, waiting for the call from Coach Ellison. Kendall to his right, receivers left and right. Kendall Jackson moves the ball forward. He busts in for a 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down at the 20-yard line. Power football against the Dragons.
Yeah, what's really helping the Wildcats is spreading out, putting 2 receivers each side, opening up that middle run game, and Kendall's able to hit the hole there and get an easy 5 yards every time to put you in a second and short or second and medium.
9 minutes, 19 seconds to play in the ball game. 14-7 Oak Ridge. The Wildcats. The ball is at the 21-yard line. Receivers left and right. The Wildcat quarterback is junior Hayden Tarwater. He's got the snap. He hands it to Kendall. He's got a big hole. He's at the 5. He's at the 3. First down. Goal to go for the Wildcats. The Dragons on their heels. Their 2-0 start. In some doubt right now, James Branson.
Yeah, David, it's not looking good for them at all as the Wildcats are basically in Dragon territory and have been in Dragon territory the entire second half.
First down, goal to go officially. They're going to say the 5-yard line. Here comes Kendall looking for a hole. Not much of one there. His pushback. It'll be second down. Goal to go at the 5. Clock ticking down. 8 minutes. 40 seconds to play in the ball game. The Wildcats going quickly. One of the Wildcats is down. This injury timeout is brought to you by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. If you're injured, call Donnie Sharp. 14-7 Wildcats, back to Clinton City Field in 60 seconds. continue to do it. Good.
I think he's just saying yes. I don't think he knows how to say no.
Who is it? Gonna win. Mike, I'm gonna get you to talk to you. At least we're coming.
Who is that?
City Sheehan.
Very exciting fourth quarter day. The Wildcats have finally started exerting themselves on offense. Good blocking up front. Kendall Jackson's running with a lot of power. Hunley's running with a lot of power. We're looking really good here in the fourth quarter.
Here come the Wildcats to the line. It's second down, goal to go at the 4-yard line. Wildcats, Brandon Hayward, the Wildcat quarterback. He has the snap, and down he goes. Got knocked down by his own lineman. Good defense, Clinton. There wasn't much of a hole there, though. It's third down, goal to go. Wildcats got to score.
Yeah, they got to score here, and it looked like
Clinton Dragons. I think that'll get Oak Ridge a first down.
it should be first and goal, basically from about the 3-yard line. And the injury there earlier before we took the timeout, that was Nick Lucas that was down on the for the.
Wildcats do at the 3-yard line. Quarterback is Tarwater. Jackson in the backfield. To his right. Wildcats up 14-7. 8:08 to play. Kendall Jackson, touchdown! Oak Ridge Wildcats! Flags are down in the end zone. Maybe. Maybe not. That's 6 points on the board for your Oak Ridge Wildcats. 20 unanswered points against the 2-0 Dragons. And the Wildcats will go for another extra point. Total domination in the second half by the Wildcats, going for their 12th consecutive victory over the Clinton Dragons, their 48th win in the series. Efren Rodriguez will go for the extra point. 20-7 Oak Ridge. Will it be the same song, 12th verse?
Looks like it will be, as the Wildcats running game has really gotten going here in the second half. Credit to the offensive line, Hunley and Jackson all together.
Efren Rodriguez, bad snap. Wildcats will not get that extra point. They're going to sling him down. The extra point won't matter. Good game, but if Clinton can't move the ball, for 8 minutes to go the ball game. 20-7 Oak Ridge. We'll be back to Clinton Field in 60 seconds. Check our Welcome back to Clinton City Field. Brendan Pearson to kick off again. You know where it's going. It's going into the end zone. Doty watches it sail over the top of his head. The former Wildcat had a long kickoff return a week ago against Austin. Watching this one now because Brendan Pearson has drilled it into the end zone on each and every kick. And here comes the Clinton offense. Still very much in the ball game. 8 minutes to play. 20-7 Oak Ridge. 20 unanswered points, James Branson.
Yeah, it's a real explosion here in the second half from the Wildcats. Credit Hunley, who have been moving the ball. Credit the offensive line for blocking, the receivers for coming in and blocking on the edge as well.
Here come the Wildcats once again. It'll be on defense. Joshua Keith at quarterback. First down, 10 yards to go. Back to pass. Fires that pass. Boom! The stick is made at the 26-yard line. Short passing game. Clock moving. 7:51 to play in the ball game. 20-7 Oak Ridge.
Really nice flow there by the Wildcat defense to stack them up and continue to tackle, gang tackle there. Really what you're going to have to do at Clinton is get big chunk yardage plays if you want to stay in the game.
Here they come to the line. Once again, 2 receivers split to the right, 2 to the left. Second down, 4 yards to go. Joshua Keith, the sophomore quarterback, wants to pass. Fires it out here. Doty, Truss on the stop. He is hit, but not before he picks up a first down for the Clinton Dragons. 7:20 to play in the ball game. Clinton's got to move quickly. Austin Hill is in the ballgame now for the Wildcats. Wildcats substituting. We'll have to check the injury situation. At some point, the Wildcats have one lineman go down, and they can't afford to lose linemen.
Can't afford to lose linemen. Can't afford to lose that rush as you're having some substitutions coming on the defensive line now.
7 minutes to play in the ballgame. Keith to pass. Pressured. Goes deep. Wildcat receiver. Defensive backs. They collide. No play. Incomplete. I was watching. I hesitated because I saw Keith just get really knocked down over here. He's got the play. It's now second down, 10 yards to go. 6:57 to play in the ball game. Oak Ridge on top, 20-7 over the Dragons. The 2-0 Clinton Dragons. 2 receivers split to the left, 2 to the right. 1 lone running back. They're going to have to throw the ball, James, as you said. It is second down, 10 yards to go at the 34-yard line. Back to pass. Pressured. Quarterback gets away. Looks to run. But no, he's going to be shoved down hard. Brian Kelly, Jacob Bourbon. They do the honors. Keith, feeling the pressure, moves the ball forward. It is going to be third down and 10.
Yeah, honestly, David, I think if Keith just continues upfield there, he can probably get 3 or 4 yardage, but instead he decided to go sideways, and you can't do that against Kelly and Bourbon. Bourbon wrapped up Keith, and Kelly finished him off with a nice hit right at the line of scrimmage.
Third down, 10 yards to go, 6:22 to play in the ballgame. 20-7 Oak Ridge. The Wildcats lead the all-time series 47-12. Joshua Keith, the quarterback, 1 lone running back, receivers all over the place for the Dragons. Bourbon, Kelly, faking blitz, pressure, they were offsides, they moved. The Wildcats came in, Bourbon and Kelly caused issues with their linemen who jumped, and I think it's going to cost them 5.
We also have another penalty that came in late. It looks like after the play, maybe some wrestling down in the backfield. I honestly think it was maybe the blitz that was coming from Hunley. As you said, the 2 inside linebackers, Kelly and Bourbon, were faking it, but it was really coming from Hunley, and I think it was from the tackle, the one that flinched, the left tackle.
The Clinton offense, which has scored 94 points, I believe it's 94 points in the first 2 ball games, has been held to 7. Jeff Miner is a genius, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the defense has done a great job, especially here in the second half and really in the second quarter and beyond, really stopping the Clinton offense, not allowing them to move, and also giving the Wildcats plenty of possessions on offense in the second half.
Offsetting personal foul penalties one against the Dragons, 1 against the Wildcats, but the 5-yard offsides or movement did count against Clinton, and they're backed up 5. It's third down, 15 yards to go, 6:02 to play. The Wildcats watching Keith. Here comes the pressure. The screen pass is caught. Oh, man, guess where he's going? To the brand new turf here at Clinton, Tennessee. He's down for the count It's fourth down. Big play. The screen pass fails. It's fourth down and long.
Yeah, David, and the Wildcats hadn't been fooled on that all night long. They've really stayed at home on the screen passes. That one there went to Moody, and he had nowhere to run based on the pursuit of the linebackers. The linebackers for the Wildcats are doing their job tonight. Defensive line staying at home, forcing a fourth down. Who knows how far this punt might go? It might be 3 yards this time.
20-7 our score. I'm looking at the coaches across the way for the Clinton Dragons. Familiar faces I see as the Wildcats lead it 20-7. It'll be Clinton to punt, lay the man onto the field. Another 5-yard step off against the Clinton Dragons. They can't get enough of their personnel in there on time. It's 5 yards against them.
Can't get enough or getting too many, but it's confusion and chaos for Clinton here in the fourth quarter. As you know, it's the complete opposite of what we saw in the first quarter. Clinton looked like the ones that were being poised and knew exactly what they needed to do. In this second half, it's really been the Wildcats that have taken control of the ball game.
Total domination in the second half. 20 unanswered points. Clinton now faced with 4th and 18. Punting from inside the 10-yard line. Here's the snap over his head. That is going to be a touchdown or a safety. It is a safety. Put 2 more points on the board. The Wildcats are up 22-7 over the Clinton Dragons. Same song, 12th verse, 48th win for the Wildcats since 1943.
Second safety in a row, 2 weeks in a row for the Wildcats, David, and just nothing there for the Wildcats to do. Just a high snap way over the punter's head. I thought the punter was going to let the Wildcats just recover in the end zone. He just kind of stood there and watched it kind of barely roll out of bounds. But again, a key point here, the Wildcats are still going to get great field position because Clinton's going to have to kick off from the 20-yard line.
22-7, the Wildcats in the lead, headed for yet another victory. It'll be 12 in a row, James. But I'll give them this. Clinton does have some fight, but they're still down 22-7.
Still down 22-7, and this is a much better Clinton team than I thought it would be. I'll give them a lot of credit. They've done a really good job on this end of the county. But, you know, once the Wildcats got going and once they realized what they needed to do and actually executing, not getting as many penalties, not kind of shooting ourselves in the foot, we've actually looked a lot better, so much better. Completely different ball game here in the second half.
Should we ask Andy Hudson what he thinks about the ball game?
Speechless.
It'll be a free kick here for the Dragons. They'll be kicking from the 20-yard line. 22-7, Oak Ridge headed for their first victory. The Wildcat seniors have been on this field. This is the third time in 4 years we have played here at Clinton. These seniors are going to go undefeated here at Clinton City Field.
Yeah, and you know, that's a nice feeling when you can travel to any place that you want to and, you know, come out undefeated or leave as, you know, taking more victories than you lost. And the Wildcat seniors here, credit them in their effort all night long.
Coach Dyron Birdwell listening to us somewhere out in Middle Tennessee right now, enjoying this one, I know. Here's Clinton's kick. It's high. Pretty good kick. It's going to be fielded by Oak Ridge at the 40, at the 45, at the 50. Oh, he runs over a man, and down he goes. It'll be Oak Ridge, 1st and 10 at the Clinton 47-yard line. And some of the orange and black fans are headed to the exits.
Headed to the exits, David. And, you know, really, I was just looking there at the special teams as there's no good option there of who to kick it to. You have Brandon Hayward deep, who's a great returner. You have DeJavis Dozier as one of the upbacks who's gotten great returns all night long. You've had Hunley on that play, who had another great return. They've put the Wildcats in position to be successful, and most of the time they've started on the Clinton territory all night long.
22-7 our score. Credit the Oak Ridge Wildcats here in the second half. And I think one of the reasons is I think they have really worn down the Dragons here in the second half.
Yeah, it looks like the Wildcats have played a lot better and honestly have more energy. You see some of the subs and some of the rotations here for receivers and for running backs that we've done a better job of here in the second half.
Looks like we're going to have a timeout called here, I believe. Although they came over to talk for a second, now they're back on the field. 4 minutes, 43 seconds to play in the ball game, 22-7. The Wildcats headed for their 12th consecutive win. Coach Gaddis is 18-2 all time against the Dragons. Two receivers split to the right, two to the left for Hayden Tarwater. 4:43 to play. Clinton showing blitz. Clock is stopped. Coach Ellison signals in a new play along with big Alex Stewart. Here's the handoff. Here's the run by Kendall Jackson. Kendall Jackson tries to get to the outside, and he is tackled. All I know is the Wildcats have seen several of their former coaches go over to the sideline, and now they know what it's like to be defeated by an Oak Ridge football team.
Not only some of the former coaches of the Wildcats, but also some of the former players. And you know, this having to play against some of your former teammates gives you a little competitive advantage here. And to say that you went 3-0 against them, that's a big up for these seniors.
It'll be second down, 9 yards to go. 4:08 to play. 22-7 the score. Two receivers split to the right. Peyton Sharp splits out to the right side. Hayden Tarwater will be a receiver or be a quarterback. They've got Ferreira out there. They've got Williams. Wildcats have Pendergrass here to the left. Kendall Jackson, the running back, and he gets the handoff. Leaps over a man, his own man, picks up positive yardage. But the good news is the clock is ticking down. 3:39 to play. The Wildcats headed for yet another win over the Clinton Dragons.
Yet another win over the Dragons, and really a come-from-behind victory here is, it's not much of a come-from-behind victory, but to fight through this adversity, this is what you want to see out of the Wildcats. We kind of saw it a little bit in week 1 and week 2, but to continue to face it and overcome it this week, that's a big thing for the Wildcats.
It'll be third down, 7 yards to go. Kendall comes out of the game. Jaw Hunley comes in, 3:11 to play, 22-7 Oak Ridge, 22 unanswered points on the Dragons. Tarwater, the junior quarterback. He's going to hand it to Hunley, and he is smacked in the backfield. They'll lose big yardage. It'll be a big loss on the play, and 2:54 to play. It's fourth down. Facing the Clinton Dragons, and play is halted once again. An official's timeout, and a timeout is asked for by the Dragons. We'll take it ourselves. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Well, go ahead and hook the wireless in. Well, and I'm going to put it on the wireless. Back once again. Clinton City Field, 22-7 our score. The Wildcats, they're offsides. 5-yard step off against the Clinton Dragons. Oak Ridge in the lead, 22-7. Oak Ridge 47-12 all time against Clinton. 5 of Clinton's 12 wins came when Franklin Roosevelt and Harry Truman were president of the United States.
Of presidents that we've had, but really it's only been one president in the 21st century that the Clinton Dragons have seen a victory over the Wildcats.
Here comes Bourbon. Bourbon punts. High, wobbly kick. Going to take a good Oak Ridge bounce. And Doty picks it up, and he goes down. Tackled it around the 13-yard line. A lot of pushing and shoving. A little temper starting to flare out on the field for the Dragons. Big night for them. They dedicated their new field, and it is beautiful. And I'll give Clinton fans they came in big numbers here.
It was a really great atmosphere at the game tonight for the Wildcats and the Dragons, and from both sides, you love to see these communities and this rivalry kind of flourish. This rivalry is really good when both teams are really good.
We'll have player interviews after the ball game. Coach Joe Gaddis as well. He will be 18-2 all time against Clinton. Hasn't lost in his second stint here. Joshua Keith to pass. Pass is incomplete. They've got some athletes. I'll tell you one thing, the Oak Ridge players have done absolutely nothing. Credit Oak Ridge defense tonight.
No, they haven't really done much, and credit Oak Ridge's defense, credit the defensive line for putting pressure on Keith, their quarterback, all night long, not allowing deep routes to develop.
It'll be for the Dragons. Second down, 10 yards to go, 2 minutes, 35 seconds to play. That is the Clinton band playing in their end zone seats. The cheerleaders are dancing. Their student section has been in it all night. Joshua Keith breaks a tackle, but not the second. Slung down to the brand new turf at the 9-yard line by, you guessed it, one of those 3-8 or 3-3. I believe it is Jacob Irvin.
It is Jacob Irvin. He's right there, almost like they're spying on him. Irvin spying on him, waiting for Keith to roll out of the backfield, and he did on that play, and Irvin was right there to meet him beyond the line of scrimmage.
With the exception of the first half, when the Wildcats shot themselves in the foot, total domination here in the second half, and they lead it 22-7. It is third down, 13 yards to go, 22-7 Oak Ridge. 1 minute, 53 seconds to play. Here's the snap to Keith. Here comes the backside pressure. Here comes the sack pressure. No, he throws it up for grabs. They make the catch. It's for nothing. Up to the 15-yard line. Brandon Hayward defending. Let's see if he's okay. Kind of got dragged down on the backside. We'll see. It's a cramp. We're down to a minute, 36 to play. The Wildcats up 20. And they attend to the injured Wildcat here, 22-7, 22 unanswered points here at Clinton City Field. Big win for the Wildcats for several reasons. Obviously, you want to beat your rivals, obviously. But the Wildcats have started out this season 0-2, struggled basically in just about every ball game. But and even tonight they struggled, obviously. As the Dragons have it, fourth down, 16 yards to go. They're going for it, obviously. 4th and 6. Scoreboard is wrong. Quarterback Keith rolls to pass, fires the pass. It is caught, and then a great tackle by Oak Ridge out there. They might have a first down, but with 1:09 to play, the Wildcats headed for victory here, 22-7. And you're getting ready, I believe, to head down to Clinton City Field. And we will, in a moment, as they're kind of one of the injured Dragons comes off the field there, and hopefully we still have radio coverage right now, and I believe we're still on our internet stream. 22-7 our score. A lot of the fans are heading on out of here. What a great game, James.
Really great game.
In the second half, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. In the second half, you know, what's positive here for the Wildcats is, again, you were able to overcome. That's something that we struggled with a little bit in the first 2 weeks. And so to face that perseverance, overcome it. And, you know, the people that really shined through, Ja Hunley in the second half really took control of this game and kind of put the team on his back.
Can you imagine being an Oak Ridge player, a former Oak Ridge coach, and going over to the other side of the field and coaching?
It would be very difficult to imagine to go to any rival, let alone in-county rival. That'd be difficult to imagine if you're a Wildcat fan, if you're a Wildcat player, or, you know, if you're a former coach. I just can't imagine it.
The Wildcats are going to see the ball moved up to the 36-yard line. It is a minute. There's 1:09 to play here. I love it when Clinton is competitive, and they have been competitive tonight.
Yeah, and like I said, it makes it a great ball game, and it makes it a great atmosphere. You kind of flash back to some of those games in the 90s that were always very competitive between us and them, and all the athletes that came out of those games on both sides of the ball.
1:09 to play in the ball game, 22-7. The Dragons still fighting. Actually, the Wildcats have the ball. Looks like Tarwater is going to go into the victory formation, and the Wildcats are going to win. So they obviously did not pick up that first down a moment ago. We were working on something, and the final seconds will tick down. The Wildcats, the last time they lost to Clinton was in 2009. The Wildcats into tonight's ball game had won 11 consecutive games. Tonight, it is 12. This is the 60th meeting between Oak Ridge and Clinton. The Wildcats are now 48-12 all time against the Dragons.
It's a ridiculous win total for the Wildcats, and I think at one point you said that this Clinton is is the team we have the most victories against. Is that correct?
It is, and there's the final snap of the ball game, and Oak Ridge has defeated the Clinton Dragons, sending them down to their first defeat of the 2021 season. The Wildcats 22 unanswered points to knock off the Dragons 22-7 on their brand new turf. Something to remember for the future.
Yeah, it's something to remember, and something that these seniors are going to remember, going 3-0 against the Dragons, having to come here 3 different times and still winning. And, you know, coming from behind, this could be a big motivator going forward for the Wildcats. This could be the bounce that they need, the start that they need to kind of get them rolling further on in the season.
Let's take a time out here. The Wildcats will have player interviews. We'll have Coach Gaddis. 22-7, the final score. Oak Ridge wins. We'll be back. Clinton, Tennessee, with player interviews. 3-minute timeout. You're going to have to take that, and you're going to Is there another? David Clary back here with John Ranson, Mike Sheehan, our camera personnel. We had Andy Hudson here tonight, also the Wildcats. We also had, obviously, Christian Rosas Rodriguez. Honestly, I'm trying to think of everybody. Lee Wexler was here. Alex Waraxa was here. And a host of others. The Wildcats moved down to celebrate on that end zone there. And we'll move the camera just slightly. And in a moment we'll go down to James Branson with player interviews. Let me hand the mic over here to Mike Sheehan for the scoring summary.
Thank you, David. What a tremendous second half for the Wildcats. You know, to start things off, really started off slow. Nobody scored in the first quarter, and then with 9 minutes and 1 second left in the second quarter, the Clinton Dragons, Connor Moody ran one in from 10 yards out and put the Dragons up 6-0. And then Ryan Bradley came in for the only other point of the night for the Clinton Dragons, and they went up 7-0. And it stayed that way until the third quarter when Oak Ridge's John Hunley ran one in from 25 yards out, and the Wildcats were only down by 1, 6-7. Efren Rodriguez came in and kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats were in business 7-7. Then it battled on into the fourth quarter, where Brandon Hayward took a direct snap and ran one in from 14 yards out and put the Wildcats up for the first time of the night, 13-7. Then Efren Rodriguez came in and kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats led 14-7. That's still a very good game. Then Kendall Jackson came in and got things really rolling for the Wildcats. Got all the way down to the 6-yard line, where he ran it in from 6 yards out and went around left end and put the ball in, and the Wildcats led 20-7. For whatever reason, the snap was bad. The holder had to just literally get buried, got tackled for a loss, so there was no extra point, but the Wildcats were up 20-7. Then with 4 minutes and 52 seconds left in the game, Oak Ridge defense backed the Dragons up all the way down to about the 5-yard line. Then they kept penalizing themselves by jumping off sides. Then on the fourth down and the punt attempt went over the punter's head and went out of the end zone for a safety, and the Wildcats got 2 more points on the board. And then the Wildcats just ran the game out at the end. What a tremendous, exciting fourth quarter for the Wildcats. They scored 15 points in the fourth quarter. They trailed zero. They were tied after the first quarter, 0-0. They led 7-0 after the second quarter. They trailed. Then in the third quarter, they tied it up 7-7. And like I said, then in the fourth quarter, we scored 15 unanswered points and ended up walking away with a victory, 22-7 over the Clinton Dragons. I'm going to send it back to Mark Ace for the stats.
Thank you very much, Mike. As you said, Oak Ridge victorious tonight by a final score of 22-7. We can nickname this game the Tale of Two Halves. Look at the statistics first for Oak Ridge. Kendall Jackson led all rushers for the Wildcats. He had 65 yards on 18 carries. Jay Hunley, 33 yards on 5 carries. Brandon Hayward carried the ball twice, totaling 11 yards. DeJovis Dozier had a 1-yard carry, and then Hayden Tarwater had 2 carries, netting -5 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats rushed the ball 28 times, totaling 105 yards on the ground. Through the air, Hayden Tarwater, quarterbacking for the Wildcats, he was 2 of 9 for 12 yards. He had 1 interception on the night. Receiving for the Wildcats, Jay Hunley had a 15-yard reception, and Cameron Barnett had a reception for -3 yards. As a team, as I said, 105 yards on the ground on 28 carries, 12 yards through the air on 2 receptions for a total offense tonight of 117 yards. Wildcats totaled 7 first downs in the ball, 12 times for 120 yards. So interesting is the Wildcats had 120 yards and only 117 total offensive yards. So they had more penalty yards than total offense. Now looking at the Clinton yards on 6 carries. He had 27 yards as well, but on 9 carries. Elijah yards. Quarterback Joshua Keith for the Dragons had 8 carries, totaling -26 yards. So as a ball 32 times, 58 yards on the ground. Through the air, Dragons much more successful. Quarterback Joshua Keith was 12 of 21 for 89 yards for the Dragons. Rodavian Truss had 1 completed pass for 18 yards. So as a team, the Dragons were 13 of 22 for 107 yards through the air. Receiving for the Dragons, they were led in receiving by Rodavian Truss. He had 51 yards on 5 completions. Jeremiah Blavelt had 2 receptions totaling 37 yards. Braylon Taylor, 2 receptions for 20 yards. Lucas Kendall had 7 yards on 2 receptions. And then Connor Moody, 2 receptions netting -7 yards. So as a team, the Dragons had 58 yards on the ground on 32 carries, had 107 yards through the air on 13 receptions for a total offense tonight of 165 yards. The Dragons had 10 first downs in the ball game. They also were penalized for 120 yards on 16 penalties. So look at the team side by side. As I said, Oak Ridge total offense 117 and 65. First downs, Oak Ridge had 7, Clinton 10. Penalties, Oak Ridge had 12. Clinton 120 yards. So again, rushing, Oak Ridge had 105 yards on 28 carries. Clinton 58 yards on 32 carries. So Oak Ridge had a better ground game, especially in the second half. And then through the air, Oak Ridge was 2 of 9 for 12 yards with 1 interception. Clinton was 13 of 22 for 107 yards. They had no interceptions on the night. So, again, Oak Ridge victorious tonight at Clinton by a final score of 22-7. And we'll be playing field after this 3-minute time.
Because of our audio.
Okay. I can maybe now, though.
you got him on time.
What's that?
I said, I'm glad you got Joe on time. He just about won.
Yeah. People were texting me, said, "Wayne, you're having too much fun."
Hey, no.
I said,
Yeah, but
same
you-
song, 12th verse. 12 in a row.
Is that right? We're 12 in a row.
We went, yeah, and now we're at 48 and 12 all the time. And I also and I said, and 5 of their 12 came when Roosevelt and Truman were president.
That's good. You were having too much fun. That was great. That is great.
I said, we're now 48 and 12 all the time against Clinton, and 5 of their 12 came when Roosevelt and Truman were president.
If you know who they are. That's great. You should have honors the WYFS yesterday. They were talking about, we're going to be those.
Yeah, I was on YSS about 30 minutes ago. And they interviewed me about it. And he asked me to predict, and I said, we're going to win by 12 to 14 points. That was a little off, but they were thinking mid by 10.
Now, in all fairness, they had a better team this year than the team.
Oh, absolutely they did.
Now, their plenty is poor.
Yeah, but they're besides the quarterback, senior, Toby Gunn. Oh, wow. Yeah. Clinton is still Clinton.
Yep.
My daughter bet me a meal.
She did?
My daughter bet me a meal that Clayton was going to win. I said, okay. She said, you're going to bet money? I said, no, we'll bet a meal. She said, isn't that the same thing? I said, no, because there's no money being exchanged.
Said you got to pay.
I said, so I'm looking forward to my meal.
Seeing you all
getting all the cameras and stuff organized. Christian might get and put them this
That's
year.
where we are next week.
Okay.
I haven't even looked
David,
at
I'm on
the
Monday.
head.
All right, we'll see you at Farragut next week.
Yeah, I'll be there.
All right.
Hopefully.
All right, you too, Mike.
What else can I take apart real quick?
Yeah, the stuff inside, just try to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can't seem to get any further than that lately.
Hey, good job on the student section.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're good.
Me and Christian got.
Okay, good.
Irvin had one heck of a night.
What's that? What?
Irvin had one heck of a night.
Yeah, he was awesome.
18 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss for 11.
Hey, Mark, don't close it down yet. I need for you to do the statistics on the radio, too. Can you do that?
Did you do that?
You did it on the stream.
Really?
Yeah. Is that, are you okay with that?
Yeah. I got a ding with my pillow, though.
Sorry if that was too long.
Okay, let's let him have that.
Do you want to?
Yeah. He's already done this on this, but we'll let
Tell me when.
Oh, he loves it when the camera's on him. Hey, good to see you in person.
Do you have a battery up here?
They're all. You about ready, Mark?
Almost.
James Branson back here at Clinton City Field after the Wildcats victorious 22-7 over the Dragons for the 12th time in a row. We now would like to bring in Mark Haste to the broadcast again for our final game statistics.
Thank you very much, James. As you said, Oak Ridge victorious tonight by a final score of 22-7. Looking for the Wildcats, led on the ground by Kendall Jackson. He had 65 yards on 18 carries. Jay Hunley, 33 yards on 5 carries. Brandon Hayward had 11 yards on 2 carries. DeJovis Dozier had a 1-yard carry, and Hayden Tarwater carried the ball twice for the Wildcats, netting -5 yards. As a team, the Wildcats carried the ball 28 times for totaling 105 yards on the ground. Through the air, Hayden Tarwater, quarterbacking for the Wildcats tonight, he was 2 of 9 for 12 yards with 1 interception on the night. Jay Hunley had 1 reception for the Wildcats for 15 yards. The other reception by Cameron Barnett for -3 yards. So as a team, on the ground, they had 105 yards. Through the air, they had 12 for a total offense tonight of 117 yards. Oak Ridge totaled 7 first downs in the ballgame. They were penalized 12 times for 120 yards. Now looking at Clinton, they were led on the ground by Connor Moody. He had 27 yards on 6 carries. Eris King, 27 yards on 9 carries. Elijah Batiste had 14 yards on 5 carries. Rodavian Truss, 8 yards on 2 carries. William Taylor, 8 yards as well on 2 carries. And then quarterback Joshua Keith had, 8 carries, netting -26 yards. So as a team, the Dragons carried the ball 32 times, totaling 58 yards on the ground. Through the air, much more successful were the Dragons. Joshua Keith, quarterbacking for the Dragons, he was 12 of 21 for 89 yards. Also with 1 pass was Rodavian Truss for 18 yards. So as a team, they were 13 of 22 for 107 yards through the air. Receiving for the Dragons, they were led by Rodavian Truss. He had 51 yards receiving on 5 receptions. Jeremiah Blavelt had 36 yards on 2 receptions. Braylon Taylor had 20 yards on 2 receptions. Lucas Kendall had 2 receptions totaling 7 yards, and then Connor Moody rounds out the receiving core for the Dragons with 2 receptions for -7 yards. So as a team, the Dragons had 58 yards on 32 carries. They had 107 yards on 13 receptions for a total offense tonight of 165 yards. They totaled 10 first downs in the ballgame. They also were penalized 120 yards on 16 penalties. So the interesting thing, David, that I said or that I noticed here is Oak Ridge had more penalty yards than they had total offense. They had 120 yards in penalties and 117 total offense. 105 on the ground and 12 through the air. But all that really matters is that the Wildcats come home with a victory, David, by final score of 22-7.
Thanks a lot, Mark. You and Shauna always join a broadcast tonight for whatever reason. We had to do it from the sometimes it doesn't work out well. Here, Christian Roses, Alex Waraxa, along with Matt Charles, Lee Wexler, Neil Patel, and Andy Hudson. Camera Brian Bennett, of course, back in the studios. Our next broadcast of Oak Ridge High School football is next Friday night. The Wildcats traveling to Farragut to take on the Admirals. Farragut 0-3. So they're going to be looking for their first victory of the Wildcats. And their 48th all-time against Clinton in.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. That's something that you want to keep going. We haven't had the best of luck against Farragut in our games. I'm not sure of the record the past 10 years, but it's not good. So to come around and make a turning point in that series and in the season could be really big for the Wildcats.
You know, you're a history teacher, James. Let me tell you, 2 of Clinton's wins of their 12 came when Henry was president of the United States. Their wins came when Richard Nixon. They have 1 win with Ronald Reagan, 1 win with Bill Clinton, and 1 win with Barack Obama.
Oh, I mean, it's good that they haven't had any wins, with our most recent 2 presidents. So, it's a good streak to keep going for the Wildcats, I guess.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just pointing out the history. Don't blame the messenger here. 48-12 is the all-time series win at 22-7. Until next week, this is David Clary saying